Well, hello there and welcome to an evening in 10 forward. This is number 77. I can't believe we're already all the way up to 77. This week I have a new presence on the channel. I have a good, fast becoming a good friend of mine, one of my subscribers and a follower of the channel, and also a caster himself and a YouTube a YouTube creator. I suppose that's what we are. I have my friend here, Gooner. Welcome to an evening in 10 forward, sir.
Oh, I am absolutely stoked to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I came on and met you guys, and I was so welcomed very warmly by all of you to the channel. And I've just never looked back since. And it's just been such a wonderful community. Eventually, I discovered how to use Discord a little bit, not much, but a little bit. And I've just had some made some wonderful connections with you all, and had some good conversations. And just thrilled to bits to be here. Thank you so much. An honor. So thank you for that.
The honour's mine, my friend. You are a true gent. It's always nice to see you in the Discord. Previously, you've been in the chat, and you've kept us all very much kept everything alive and kept us entertained. So I really appreciate you coming on with me tonight to discuss some news, some bits and bobs, and we're going to be getting into one of the next generation's, I think, finest episodes. And I rewatched it today because I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this my absolute all, and I didn't regret it for a single instance. It is truly a masterpiece of writing, and I firmly believe it belongs in Star Trek more than most other episodes.
I completely agree with that. Actually, I watched it a few days ago, and that's why we brought it up in the conversation yesterday. I think it was. And I thought, well, I'm gonna do it the service of watching it a little bit again. Well, not too much detail because I'd already watched it a few days ago, but I had it on in the background, and it doesn't matter how many times you watch it. It's just such a beautifully made episode, and the pacing is just right. And I think even non-Trek fans or non-Trek people can watch it because it's a standalone in that respect as well, because they understand that it's a story. Yes, it's to do with sci-fi, but fundamentally it's just about someone living a life and remembering that. And we'll talk about it later. I'm going to start getting carried away now.
It's absolutely fine, mate. Wherever it takes us, wherever the river takes us tonight. But yeah, it's not overly convoluted. It's very intelligently presented, and it's one of those episodes that its rewatch factor is incredible, and especially for sensitive blokes like us, it's a very weepy episode. It has me welling up every time I watch it. It's absolutely phenomenal. So yes, obviously with the new format that I'm taking this show in, it's nice to rotate hosts, get some new people in, get some new opinions in. Obviously, we've been going with Zell and Watch Nerd for a very long time. I wanted to give those guys a little bit of a break, as well as get some different thoughts, different opinions, because it's very easy for people to, without even knowing it, generate a particular bubble of opinions and not really move past those opinions or get any fresh blood in. So it's very nice to have you here. There's obviously been a week of news, and not so much news that you read in the columns, but more releases, visual media releases. So we'll go into a couple of those bits and bobs excuse me, very shortly. And I suppose, really, do you want to get the rough stuff out of the way first? I think that would probably be better. I will obviously say to everybody, hello to Alia, hello. It is good to have you here, and thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, then please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to leave some comments in the chat for us. It's always good to hear from you guys. So we had what can I say? We had a bit of a bowel release from Paramount where they forced out this 4-minute clip of Starfleet Academy. Have you seen the clip, Gooner?
I wish I hadn't. Do you know what? I've watched every iteration of Star Trek since it started. From the mid-1970s, 1975, 76, I started watching it. That's when they started showing some reruns. I can't recall if it was BBC One or BBC Two. But I remember, I think I might have said already that the final still in the end credits where you got the aliens from the pilot episode, The Cage.
Yeah.
The bald head and the veins all over, and that used to scare the life out of me. I was only 5 or 6 years old.
It was genuinely unsettling.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Until they replaced it, I think, with the Orion Girl, it was different, but that was scary. And but I was hooked. Even at that age, didn't understand much of it, but I was just hooked because it was a spaceship. There was a bit of firing with phase and whatnot. And I think I've just kept loyal. And even though we know that we have criticised, I'd say 95%, 90% of New Trek, I've still been loyal and gone through every single episode. I don't know why. I don't. Maybe some false sense of hope that maybe we'll see something that was a little bit akin to the old Trek. But no, it just continuously let me down. Especially Discovery. I think that is my biggest pet hate. Oh, I just can't get my head.
It has to be. It has to be the single biggest failure of New Trek so far, because at least Strange New Worlds is liked by some sort of division of the fan base, and although Picard seasons 1 and 2 were abysmal, Picard season 3 seemed to generate it finds sort of the middle ground between the two, something perhaps a little bit nostalgia baiting, but also seemed to have been quite a love letter to the fans from obviously the likes of Terry Matalas, and it's interesting to me how anyone that succeeds in creating a quote successful New Trek show doesn't have the chance to repeat that. So yeah, Discovery is the failed Star Trek show. It is the one that has. It jumped the shark so much it lost all sense of identity. The first season I thought was perhaps nibbling at a little bit of potential. However, it didn't happen. It had some great elements, and it just blew it all away.
I think. Sorry to interrupt you there, but
go ahead.
I think very much like you. The first season, it was intriguing because it was the first Trek for so many years. That's for starters. I know we had the Kelvin time on films, but I'm talking about TV shows, and it was the first. So I was actually looking forward to it. I genuinely was looking forward to it. I thought, God, what are they going to do here? But when I found out that woman was playing the lead, I never liked her in Walking Dead. And I was mortified. I thought, no, she's just not going to work. And they changed the premise because always Trek in the past historically has been focused on the leaders, the captains or the commanders, whereas she was coming in as a lieutenant or something. I can't recall what she was. Obviously, she was Space Jesus. She knew everything anyway. It doesn't matter what rank she was really. She was God, wasn't she? She's omnipotent, whatever Q calls himself. She was Q. She actually founded Q. She's just everything. But I still watched the episodes, and I thought there is something not too bad, not great. And although I know this is a harsh word, but I really despised her. But I kind of overlooked that. I managed to find myself overlooking her and just try and enjoy what could be something good.
Yeah.
And trying to get used to the way the Klingons looked and everything. I thought, right, I'm just gonna blank it out, think of it as aesthetics, and just try and enjoy it as much as I can.
Yeah.
I liked Lorca. I really liked him. I even liked Georgiou before she became the mirror. I think, and the initial Georgiou character was great. I actually did like her. I thought Saru had a lot of potential. So
Mhm.
there were some characters which I thought, this is interesting. But no, it went. It was almost like, just on the precipice of a cliff, and that's it. You've lost your balance and you've gone. But this is the point I was making earlier. Even despite all of that, I watched all the episodes. I managed to watch. I don't know how. 3, 4, 5, all the seasons. Don't ask me how. I did it. I did the same with Strange New Worlds. I watched Lower Decks. God help me. But at least the shining light in all of this was Prodigy, which of course they've cancelled because it's good, so they cancelled that as well. But that was good. But I was saying, I think it might have been here a couple of weeks ago, that I think this one, it might be the first one I say I'm not doing it. And it will be breaking my heart in a way because of my OCD and that false hope. So I'm going to wait for your review. You're the guinea pig, mate. You're the guinea pig.
I am the canary. I'm the canary they send down.
You have to watch it, and then I'll judge it from your literal first second of your face.
It'll be how I imagine it will be how I open most of my cynical reviews, with this face.
So I'll go, I don't have to watch it. Or actually, is he intrigued? Is this something new? We're going to come up, is this something like a miracle? Is this something actually happening where we could be watching something good? Probably not.
No, it's just wind.
It's just wind. So I think I may give it a miss. I'm very tempted because I can't do it to myself anymore.
No.
It's just not Trek as I used to know it, and as most of you guys. I can't do it, man.
Well, yeah, I have had the same sort of feeling. There's been a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers that aren't going to cover Academy, but there are going to be some surprise ones that do. I believe Gary from Nerdrotic has said, he's going to cover it and obviously rip it to pieces. Now, one thing I try and do on my channel is I try and be fair. Probably not when I started it, because I was going off the back of a lot of clicks and a bit of growth, and it eventually we had this conversation earlier. Eventually I just thought, you know what, I've got to try and give things a fair chance. I've got to try and at least find the good, if there is some there, whilst critiquing the bad, rather than just going, I hated it was humor, and just going off on one for reactions and everything. But this show, I said in a previous 10 forward, I'm gonna find it really hard to find the positive, because everything that they presented us with is by default anti-Star Trek. It's antithetical, I think is the word. It's completely antithetical to what Star Trek is. So not only is it someone made this up, I don't know who to credit for it, but not only is it the NCC 90210, which is just brilliant, absolutely fantastic, that is. But it's also it's completely out of style with Star Trek. So it's it's clearly an ensemble cast, which finally they seem to be getting the idea. And sort of where I was going earlier with Discovery was they said they got it completely wrong. They said that instead of making the captain the focus of the show, we're going to make the commander. It's going to be the commander for the first time that's the focus of the show, not the captain, but the commander for the first time ever. And I'm thinking, Ben Sisko was a commander. Okay, yes, there wasn't someone above him, but that's a technicality. The other thing I was thinking, of course, is Star Trek has never been solely about the lead, about the captain. It's been an ensemble cast with the captain as the anchor of the show. So they didn't get the idea. And hello, Stephen Brumby. Evening all. A long time no see. How you doing? How are we doing? Absolutely fine here, mate. How are you? So yeah, they finally got it into their head that it wasn't the right way to go, and they've given us an ensemble cast, which again the concept should be, it should work. An academy show, Starfleet Academy, youngsters learning about the ways of the world, being mentored very much in the way that one of our favourite characters from Strange New Worlds was mentoring, I believe, Uhura, and but Hemmer, wasn't it? And you know, it amazes me that they haven't gone this direction. They've got Robert Picardo in as the Doctor, and bless him, I don't know what he's thinking, but he's coming to this, and you've got this I say dean of the academy, and the academy is a ship. I mean, all great, all interesting concepts, but you just know it's going to be very akin to Dawson's Creek.
I honestly, I looked at this thing. I looked at the still first that came out, and is it Dave Cullen? I think I was mentioning earlier to you, and he said if you take the Klingon out, you wouldn't even know it's Trek. And I put a comment saying, with the Klingon in there, you don't know it's not Trek.
That's exactly what I would have said.
It's not Trek, full stop.
Yeah.
And then I saw this clip, and I'm just thinking, yeah, visually great, like all new Trek. To be fair, we were saying this earlier. Visually, it looks lovely. Lots of color, a lot of explosions, beautiful this and beautiful that. Of course, it's going to have to, with the budgets that they pour into these things, and with the technologies that we have now. But you know what? I look at these things, and then like I said to you, I watch older episodes, and it's not about the technology for me in Trek and the visuals so much. It's about how they encapsulate the story and the emotions of the characters and the actors, and how they portray their characters, and you get a sense of feeling and connection with them. And to this day, I used to remember because of my OCD, I used to sit there as a kid and I'd go, right, there's 7 main actors. These are the character names. These are their actor names. I know a little bit about them and their background as actors, not just the characters. Then I'd know a ton about the characters themselves, and I'd know that for all the series, all of them. If you asked me to name the full crew complement of Discovery, Strange New Worlds, I wouldn't have a clue. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I just wouldn't have a clue. I don't know, because they never focused on the entire bridge crew, if you like, or the main cast. They didn't. They had their select favourites, and it was always about them, and they never developed any of the other characters. Whereas even in the original series, I know it was mainly focused on McCoy, Spock, and Kirk. But you knew a bit about Scotty. You knew a bit about Sulu and Chekhov and Uhura, even Chapel, played by Majel Barrett. You knew a bit about them. They were involved to a certain degree. And then the next gen took it a step further, where we actually had specific episodes about these individual characters. It wasn't always about the lead cast, if you like. These new ones, let's just talk about Space Jesus saving the day every episode. I mean, it became such a bore.
I mean, you remember the episode, of course, with I mentioned a few weeks back with Unnamed Species 10C, the ultimate oxymoron.
Yeah.
Is it unnamed? Well, you've just named it, so they're called 10C now. And Michael Burnham, Space Jesus, Holy One, she brings down her bridge crew to have a minute or 2 minute confab, and then sends them back up before the important mission begins. It's like, so all you did is check a box. Check the box.
That's it. This is all they were doing, and it just felt so artificial, lazy, contrived. It was we got an easy solution here. She'll save everyone. It's just ridiculous. This is why I've loved Enterprise. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I was really late to the party with Enterprise. I didn't actually watch it for the first time until COVID, which is shocking.
Really? Wow.
I just never got round to. I bought the actual DVD box set for it, and I never opened it. It's still sealed. I've never opened it. So I think it's somewhere in my flat. And then it came on one of the streaming platforms. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Paramount, but Netflix. I can't recall. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to watch this. And the pilot I found a little bit slow, and I thought, oh God. But then I slowly started getting into it, and because it was COVID and you had more time, you'd do the binge watching where, the next episode is going to start in 10 seconds, and I'd let it start. And it would be one of those where I'd probably maybe watch 5 or 6 on the trot or the spin. And I loved it because they had flaws. They weren't perfect. All the characters had flaws, even the captain, and the ship was not a proper, it had issues.
Yeah.
And I love the way that they even continued some of that into the next episodes. And they weren't perfect, but they worked. They knew they weren't perfect, but they worked together as a team, and they sorted things out, and they never always had the answers. Come Discovery, it's really, this is the whole universe is it's finished. We're all dead. Oh, don't worry, space Jesus. I'll click my fingers. We're all right. Don't worry.
We've got the spinny drive that can take us anywhere instantly.
What is that? I mean, and then to make and Spock, where they ruined. This is an iconic character. They held a degree of mystery as well about him. I always thought. I know we knew Vulcan. He's got a very logical mind, has let go of emotions and all of that stuff. But there was still an air of mystery about him. Then all of a sudden, he had trouble when he was growing up, and Space Jesus saved him, and suddenly he's got this sister, and it's like, what are you talking? What are you doing? Why are you crucifying an iconic character like this? It just didn't make any sense at all to me, and I just couldn't relate. You know, sometimes I'll watch an episode of the old stuff. I mean, especially when you saw it first time. Sure, you must have gone through this.
Mm-hmm.
You watch it, and you're like hit like a ton of bricks. Like, wow, that was just brilliant. Not with all of them. There have been some poor old Trek, original OG Trek episodes. Of course, we all know that in all the iterations of it. But then there was that one gem that comes along, and you're like blown away, and you know that you can rewatch it. I mean, so many of the episodes I can name that I've watched multiple times, and I don't get bored. I know exactly what's going to happen. I know sometimes I even know what words are going to be said, but it doesn't bore me. I have not rewatched one new Trek episode. Not one.
No.
Not one. I haven't even rewatched Picard season 3, which is surprising because I mean, because it was a love letter. I really connected to it. I'll have to say, I thought 1 and 2 I'm never going to watch again because the storylines were absolutely pathetic. And to be honest, season 3, the storyline wasn't great.
No.
But it was that nostalgia. Which, I was in tears at one point when he was, I think it was 7 of 9, and who's the chap who plays Jack, and they're looking at the museum and they're going through the ships. I was like, oh my God, it was really hitting me hard. And even that episode I still haven't rewatched.
No.
But next gen, if you said to me now, all right, we're going to end the stream early, Neil, what are you going to do? I might go and watch Parallels or something. I might go and watch, what was it called? Conundrum. There's just something that I can think of. And they're not even the top tier ones. No. But they've still got that rewatch. Even Rascals, I enjoyed it. It was silly.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It's enjoyable. It's great writing, and it's well structured, and it was done on a budget that was, if you adjust for inflation, had to have been a quarter of the budget that they have now. And they did that. They produced 24 episodes a year, and it didn't. Nowadays they produce 10, and it's like, well, that's because of the visual effects. Well, I say tone it down and bring it. Focus on the writing. But I mean, you mentioned that you hadn't seen Enterprise until COVID. Or how did you get into the franchise? How did you become a Star Trek fan?
I was 5, and I was just watching what my brother and father was watching. It's simple as that. So in those days, we only had 3 channels. Yeah. So BBC 1, BBC 2, and ITV. Because Channel 4 came along in the early 80s. So Star Trek started their reruns here in the UK. I think it was the mid-70s. So I was lucky enough to be watching it because it was... I don't think it wasn't that early. I think then eventually the reruns started going a bit earlier, and 6 o'clock and 5 p.m. But I think the original ones, I mean, I'm trying to think back 50 years here, so forgive me, I might be completely wrong, but I do remember them being a little bit later. But I was allowed to watch them, and I was watching them with my brother, and he probably understood it more than I did. And my father, I think, that just because it was something to watch, I suppose. He never really got into Trek, but it's just something to watch. It wasn't really my mum's cup of tea, but the three of us would sit there and watch these things. And like I said, I didn't really understand it. For me, it was all about spaceship, and they're going around into a planet, and they're seeing these aliens, and some of them are a bit scary, some of them are not. I didn't really understand the story and the power of the story and the writing and the meaning behind it all. But that's initially what got me hooked. And then as I'm getting older, I'm watching it. And then, to be fair, I think after watching the motion picture, which that came out, I think, in 1979, and now looking back on it, I think it's actually very good. But at the time, I found it really slow because I'm like 9 years old. You know, a 9-year-old kid, I want a bit more action and things. Obviously, we got that in Wrath of Khan, which was one of the best films ever. But I didn't quite relate to motion picture as much. I was intrigued, but that's probably as far as it went. So I kind of stepped away from it for a little bit. And I kid you not, probably for a few years in the 80s, after the Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock. Yes, I watched the films, enjoyed them, but I wasn't like mad on Star Trek, if that makes sense. Then you had Star Wars, watching the repeats of the first 3 Star Wars films, things like this. And then Next Generation came along, and I watched. We used to hire videos from our local video store. Yes, people, there used to be something called videotapes.
VHS, for those who don't know.
For the younger audience, VHS, yes, they were cassettes, and we'd stick them in the video recorder. We had a bit of a laugh about that earlier, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
My dad's editing skills.
How did you do that?
We won't go into that. So we would, and I went into the video store, and I just didn't know what to go. And all of a sudden, I saw Star Trek, but it wasn't Star Trek that I knew. There was this chap in the middle with a bald head, this guy that had some kind of thing over his eyes. And it was a picture of the classic of the main crew, the classic picture, and it was different fonts. I thought, what is this? So I asked the person behind the counter. I said, "What's this?" Well, it's Star Trek, isn't it? I said, "I know it's Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek that I." So they didn't know. They didn't have a clue. And I thought, all right, I'll take it. And I watched it, and I thought, it's not Kirk, and I didn't know what to make of it, to be fair. So I think I watched maybe the first few episodes, and I actually gave up. I'll be honest, I gave up. Then I think Sky came into being. So this was probably early 90s, I believe. I didn't have Sky at the time. We couldn't afford it as a family. But one of my friends did. And he started recording them for me. He started saying, because we got to know each other in Polytechnic back in the day, and we both realised we had some common interests, and football being one, and sci-fi being another. We both realised that, and he says, "Look, I've got Sky. I'll record them for you." So he started actually recording every episode for me, and then lending me the cassettes. And me and my brother started watching it, and then we were hooked, and we were kind of enjoying it. Kind of not again. The hook wasn't there until the 3rd season. And when the 3rd season of Next Gen, I was, bang, that's it. I've rediscovered my love of Trek. Then I started rewatching the original series again. So we got hold of the original series, started watching all of those. Next Gen, and then obviously Yesterday's Enterprise is a favourite episode of mine. I loved that one, but it was, of course, the best of both worlds cliffhanger that really nailed it for me, because we didn't know at the time what was going to happen. Me and my brother were talking about it. You know, we was after this. We go, "My God, do you think they're going to kill Patrick Stewart off?" I don't know. Is he dead? We didn't know, because we that's it.
We didn't have the internet, did we?
This is it. This was the beauty of those times. This is the charm, because we weren't subject to spoilers and things like this. We just didn't know, unless you bought a magazine and they had some kind of leaks or something. You didn't know. You just didn't know. We didn't have Twitter to fall back on, or X as it's called now, and to see things, and you just weren't spoiled. And there was a certain charm about all of that in those days. Yeah. And I think it was that episode that was it. Then me and my brother, because we didn't have much in common, but Trek and sci-fi was one of the things we did have in common. He took me to my first, as without my parents, to my first film, Star Wars in 1977, and I went with my brother. So we had that kind of sci-fi connection, I guess, between us, and we started going to conventions. So we did quite a few in the 90s, and this is where I met some of the people. I keep promising to put some photographs on. I will do that. But that's what happened, and then I got hooked on Babylon 5 and all sorts of things, and then the rest is history. And here I am today.
Wow.
So that's it.
Well, the 90s was, I think, peak sci-fi. It was peak sci-fi. You obviously had a lot of Star Trek on in the 90s. You had Babylon 5, Farscape, Red Dwarf over here in the UK. And you had Battlestar Galactica, I think was early 2000s, the remake. Mate, I would sit there and watch Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
I love that.
And
Twiggy.
Yeah. And I'd I'd watch Forbidden Planet. I'd watch all the classics when it came to sci-fi, and I just wanted more sci-fi. You know, and Star Trek for me was very similar experience. I started watching it when I was 5. Started with the original series. I started watching The Next Generation. I didn't like it because it wasn't Kirk. I remember, I believe at the time I started watching Next Gen, I was about 7 or 8, and I'd say no, I don't want to watch that because it's Captain Baldy, and I'm like no, it's not Captain Kirk. And slowly it started growing on me, very much like you. 3rd season, when the show matured, when Roddenberry was either voluntarily or forced to take a back seat, and I think the show definitely grew up from season 3. It became something very different, and it was the stories were a bit more refined. They got rid of the guy in the back with the triangle in the music. You know, a lot of the what I call a lot of the musical sparkle had been toned down, and it pushed it into the modern era of science fiction. So, yeah, 100% agree. And to be fair, I think you and I have had a lot of conversations over the last couple of days, and I've actually found that there's a lovely synchronicity, because there's a lot of similarities with how we got into Star Trek and how things that have happened.
Can I just interrupt you? One thing.
Of course.
One thing I don't want to kind of poo-poo the first 2 series of Next Gen. There was some banging episodes.
Oh, 100. Measure of a Man was brilliant.
That is one of the, I think, probably my top 10 easily. It was, again, it wasn't fighting and combat sequences and lots of great sci-fi special effects. It was good storytelling and brilliantly executed again. And it really made it hit hard.
Yeah.
When you're thinking that actually what we're doing today is turning him into a slave, and that's what we. And incredible piece of writing and ingenuity, and that is what is so lacking. I could watch Measure of a Man over and over again without any hesitation at all. You ask me to watch any of the new Trek episodes over and again, I'll be very hesitant. I would be hard pressed to find one that I'll say, okay, I'll watch that again.
Well, it's about desire, isn't it? You have no desire to go back and rewatch it. You know, so what do we have in New Trek? We have bastardization of the characters. We have excessive gore. We have a dark tone, nihilistic crew. The crew, an extremely non-memorable crew. Season 1 notwithstanding, because season 1 was a bit different because it actually had interesting characters. Season 2 just became a playground for narcissists. But you're quite right. From not so much the original series for me, because I watched it when I was younger and I haven't gone back and rewatched it, and I keep saying that I will. But Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, all the movies, I'm in. I'm game. And I think, don't get me wrong, I'm going through and watching some of the original series episodes, and I'm finding that the context that's giving me for what came after is immense. It's beautiful to see. And And now, obviously, one big bit of news, I suppose. I mean, we'll get back to, sadly, the Academy trailer, but one big bit of news, Gooner, is that all Star Trek is leaving Netflix soon, and Prodigy will no longer have a home.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so end of this month, no, actually January 8th, I think they're leaving Netflix, all of them. So original series, next gen, because they're just going back to Paramount.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I find quite poor, really, because I think Netflix gave 2005 pre-2005 just Trek this immense boost.
Yeah,
because suddenly people were binge watching it and binge watching it and binge watching it. Of course, now Paramount, probably through Skydance, they're bringing it home to Paramount now. So that's another streaming platform that people will have to sign up to be able to watch classic Trek, unless they have this magical thing called physical media. But no Prodigy. Prodigy won't have a home.
Oh my gosh!
And I read this in an article. I was like, why won't it have a home? It's Star Trek, and it's because it's like it surprised me because Netflix paid for Discovery season 1. So don't they?
That's right. They did.
Yes, they did. They fronted the cash, but even they turned around and said, no, we don't want it. Have it. Just have it. We don't want it. It's complete. It's not even Star Trek. People ain't watching it. Get rid of it. But Prodigy, wow, I'm disappointed because Prodigy was good, and I made a video on my channels admitting to everybody I was wrong. I was wrong about Prodigy. I didn't give it the chance because I was too embittered from what I'd seen before.
Yeah, which is fair enough. That's understandable though. Just think same old again.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, what do we got coming our way now? A show nobody really wanted. And I feel that they wanted this show, we wanted this show back when Star Trek was in its heyday. I think that would have been more than acceptable to see all of these true Starfleet cadets going through the and to be fair, liken it, if you will, to one of Mine and Reaver's favorite shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Growing certainly through my formative years with teens and whatnot, Buffy the Vampire Slayer got me through a lot of pain in my life, and it was a show about growing up. Ultimately, yeah, elements of supernatural, but you can pull it off. You can do it. You can tell stories about the young. Every time Star Trek did an episode about young people at the Academy, it was precisely the problems with young people at the Academy. They see Ben Sisko, they see Captain Picard, they read stories about James T. Kirk, and they get delusions of grandeur, and they want to they want to be the hero, they want to be the savior, they get reckless. People lose their lives. I mean, majority of the stories that have been Academy related, that has happened. You know, they got too big for their boots, and someone got hurt, someone got killed, someone got someone paid the ultimate price. And the lessons learned there, you could base an entire show around those concepts, those ideas. Instead, what you have is we have to have an antagonist. So let's just get Rudy in to come and be the antagonist of the show, Paul Giamatti, and let's watch him, prance around the bridge being overly Paul Giamatti, and let's not have any substance to the story, and let's, for some inexplicable reason, have the freaking Dean of Starfleet Academy wearing spectacles in the 32nd century.
Sorry, firstly, whistling the Star Trek tune as well. Whose crazy stupidness? All right, I know there's the fourth wall and all that, but come on.
There you go. Phil, recognise that?
Yeah, let's get one of the characters to whistle the tune.
Hey,
That'll relate.
Paul, you're really good at whistling. I've got something for you.
How stupid! And the glasses thing. Glasses
I
shouldn't
could,
even be.
unfathomable.
Look, I mean, this day and age, today we have options. If people choose to have corrective eye surgery, if they've got the money for it, they can do it. But some people actually choose to wear glasses because they like them. It's a bit of a fashion accessory. They like it. Now, if you look at it just in that context, you can kind of understand. But I would imagine in the 32nd century, whenever this blooming show takes place, it's not even a thing. You would have grown up generation by generation not knowing anything about these things.
And,
I mean, I would. It's similar to I wouldn't know exactly all the tools that maybe the cavemen were using, or the first humanoids that walked and discovered fire. I wouldn't know now that. Oh, but it's a good fashion accessory. Let me use that because I wouldn't even know about it. And it's the same thing. If you look that far in the future, and especially when, there's the film. Which one was it? First Contact, was it?
yeah.
Where was it? No, was it First Contact or was it the other one? The one Insurrection. Yeah, Insurrection, where they had that regenerative, almost like a DA.
Insurrection. Yeah.
Yeah, and Geordie's eyes started to heal, didn't they? They started to fix themselves. And then he's got that, and that scene. I mean, the film wasn't. I didn't like the film, but that scene was quite touching, where he's with Picard, and he's looking at the sunset, and he goes, "I've never seen a sunset with my own eyes."
Yeah,
and
it's a lovely
it meant
moment.
that much to him to have. And I know it's slightly different to wearing glasses, but it still kind of tells you that even at that stage, which is 1,000 years back in time to even where this show is based, that they don't want to wear things on their eyes. They don't want it. It's something that is not a thing. And all of a sudden, we've got this brand new show in this, futuristic setting, and she's got glasses on. You think, what? Who wrote this utter shite? Sorry to swear, but
no, it's all right. I mean, generally speaking, we're past the first half hour. It's fine. Yeah, but no, if you recall, again, just to be balanced, Wrath of Khan, Bones gives Kirk some anti-glasses for him to wear. Because he's getting old, he needs glasses, But that's the 22nd century. This is 1,000 years later, and the corrective surgery is not a thing. And yes, I think it could genuinely be a fashion statement, but if you're needing that, and I don't think. I don't understand the choice, other than it being, well, it was a cool moment in the Wrath of Khan, so let's replicate that, because that's all they do. They go, that was cool. If you recall, Picard Season 1 was pretty much, remember Measure of a Man? Remember Nemesis? Remember Mass Effect? Let's put them together. And that was it. That was Picard Season 1. They don't have an original bone or thought in their body, so they rip off other IPs, and they rip off other Star Trek episodes, and they are in fact soulless creatives, and they're not even creatives. So if you haven't seen the Academy clip, anyone who's in the chat, and welcome Zell as well to the chat.
Hi, Zell.
James Caserta, hello there, my friend. If you haven't seen that clip, Zell nearly had an aneurysm. I wasn't available when he wanted to rant, so apologies to Zell for that. But but it was truly interesting. Because we were talking about obesity, okay? So obesity in the future really shouldn't be a thing. And Star Trek really, certainly with Starfleet, it showed that, because it's without the political side of things, it's a military organization, which means you have to be a certain fitness level to join Starfleet, to be an officer in Starfleet, to be able to perform in your duties, you have to be very physically active. We've seen it in training montages on Voyager with Tuvok in the episode Learning Curve, I think it was. And we've seen all that. And, you know, they're at peak physical fitness, they're peak intelligence, they're astrophysicists, they're scientists, they're security officers. Hello, Reaver of Jill Sandwiches, welcome to the stream. And they are, they're the best that humanity has to offer. They have perfect teeth, they're perfectly healthy, and they're very capable. Now, that is to me something to aspire to. Obviously, those are traits to aspire to. The new Trek characters, generally speaking, don't do that because they're trying to be so inclusive. So they'll have people who are overweight, they'll have people with bad teeth, they'll have people with flaws because everybody's welcome. But that's not what we want in a science fiction show. That's not what we want in a television show. We want to see beautiful people. We want to see well-groomed people, physically fit people, because it gives us something to aspire to. Star Trek is an aspirational show at the end of the day. So when you're seeing Stamets, standing outside of his mushroom drive, smiling and wishing he wasn't, it really is quite off-putting. Now, I have the same sympathies for my subscribers because I'm English and I have bad teeth, but I'm not in a Star Trek show. And if I auditioned for the role of Stamets, because let's be honest, I could pull it off. But I'd have one stipulation. I'd probably change it. The character's preferences somewhat, slightly, but my point being, if I auditioned for the role of Stamets, I got the role of Stamets, and and I was the people in charge of casting for the show turned to me and said, "Well, Mr. UKDM, you can have the part. However, you need to get your teeth sorted because we're projecting an image. It's an image that this is the future. Dental work is commonplace. They can regrow teeth, for crying out loud. So we've made those advancements in science. We've got even if you have even if it's injections or just the food's a lot better. It's not fatty foods. It's a little bit Demolition Man in that sense, that you can't really have anything that's bad for you, or it's just replicated out of the food. Still, with those traits, this is the future. This is the aspirations. This is the peak humanity. New Trek doesn't do that. He goes, "You're perfect the way you are," and there's nothing to aspire to. You could pull off gay. So I know I could, my friend. I just don't think Danger Wife would like it very much.
Oh God.
They took out my representation from Strange New Worlds, says Reaper of Jill Sandwiches. It is true. They're all about diversity and inclusion and everything, and then they kill off the blind man. It's like,
well done.
And it was a good character
At the best.
Yeah.
By far. I mean, a couple of things that just bring to mind. Something you said earlier, that they're doing 10 episodes. Why can't they? The reason why they do 10 episodes, in my opinion, is because they don't know what to write.
Exactly.
They're so clueless. They're thinking, how can we do 20? What was it in the olden days? 26 episodes? Or
24 to 26, yeah.
Right. They haven't got a clue. It's probably a headache for them to do 10, let alone 22 or whatever it is, or 26. Yeah. So that's one thing. But this thing about the physicality, and look, you can't judge people. Everyone's. We are what we are. We are what we are. And there's no judgment. There shouldn't be any judgment, because it's horrible being teased about the way you look. It's the worst of the worst. You can come, because I've been there. It's awful. However, this firstly is a show about escapism. Although we want good writing and something we can relate to, it is still escapism, and escapism about group of people that, as you said, are in, to all intents and purposes, the military.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was to try and get into become a Green Beret now, I wouldn't have any chance, because I can't do it. I'm overweight. I can't do it. Even if I was when I was my fittest, I wouldn't have a chance.
No.
You have to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
But yet, and sorry that I have to mention her, but Tilly, I'm sorry, all of a sudden you got this woman who is winning endurance marathons. I was saying it earlier, but I'll say it now on the stream. I, as a viewer and as an ex-fan, well, not a fan of New Trek, but certainly a fan of Trek, found that really insulting.
Yeah.
You're insulting our intelligence here. Why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because people who are overweight, they'll feel that they can do this. Yes, you should feel that you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but don't give this false image that, oh, you're going to be able to do an endurance, because you could end up going and killing yourself, giving yourself a heart attack if you try.
Mm-hmm.
They're going about it in the wrong way, in my opinion. If we had a storyline of Tilly changing herself, actively saying, like, I'm not good enough for this role, and I need to do this, and I need to do this, and there's a physical change,
mm-hmm.
and then she does that, maybe that might be a better approach. But the fact to say that, yeah, but she's fine like that, and she's going to achieve this, this, and this, I don't know. I don't quite agree with it. I think, again, it's just lazy, contrived writing.
It's a disservice. It's a disservice to everybody who. I mean, I'm not exactly slim these days. You get old, it piles on. But I suppose if you think, everybody's got flaws, and it's okay to show those flaws, character flaws, physical flaws. But it's. The show can actually achieve something and send a positive message out there by saying that, yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's a challenge. But in the future, we don't have weight problems. Some of the aliens are quite big, but that's different cultures, probably different food, different diets, different circumstances. Human beings have... The society has changed. Like I say, food's got a lot better. Healthcare is free. Everything's free. It's a utopian society. It's not driven by any monetary value. The value is your reputation, like they said in the Orville. Reputation is everything. Careers are people work careers because they want to go to work. They want to achieve something. They want to help. They aspire to be a better person. So all of those factors means that this show technically shouldn't have people with health problems. And there's people that say, oh, there's, it's a perfectly healthy weight. Well, it's not really the future that we want to aspire to. Everyone's got a bit of extra weight. People work hard to get rid of it, and this isn't bashing anyone for the physical appearance, but there is a standard, and we were talking about broadcasting standards. Now things have changed a little bit with the inception of YouTube and the people's media and stuff, but television used to have a standard of presenters, of a broadcaster. It would be, again, someone who is professional in the way that they broadcast and present. You don't get that anymore. And the characters in Academy, not only do I feel that, I mean, there's the reason I sort of got onto weight is that there's a relatively overweight person on the bridge of a starship, of a training ship. You've got the Femme Hadar, who's, I'll be kind and say, voluptuous and perhaps a little bit curvier than your average gym training officer, for fuck's sake. Sorry to swear, but for God's sake, you're expecting us to believe this, but we can't. And we can't, because we're logical human beings. So you've got all these factors, and you've got a Klingon wearing a skirt. Now, a Klingon wearing a kilt. It's been corrected, it's a kilt. So suddenly there's a Scottish Klingon out there, which I think is hilarious. Now, again, you could make the argument that the Next Generation's initial episodes, the guys were wearing skirts, which I always thought was a bit silly, really. It was I think Star Trek being way ahead of its time. But you know, we're talking about a Klingon character from a warrior race that very well may have somewhat evolved over the course of 500-600 years. You don't know what the really ridiculous burn did to these characters, but you know, it's you could say, well, you could say a million things, but the fact of the matter is there is an effeminate Klingon who wears a skirt and sits with his legs crossed. I mean,
just making me laugh. It's just absolute. I can't. What can I say to this? I mean, we were introduced to, I suppose, the second generation of Klingons in the Next Gen.
Yes.
Obviously, we had the more humanoid ones in original stories, and that's probably just down to artistic license. They didn't have the budget to put all the makeup on, and you know that's what we got. We just accepted it. We accepted the change. I think I don't know. We actually first saw it in the motion picture, didn't we?
Yes.
Because they looked what they do look.
They
like,
had the budget to do it with it because it was a film.
Yeah, you go. That's it. And but the way that we were introduced to them, even you take characters like Kern, and all right, we know Worf was slightly, you could say, he always respected his culture. He always respected his inner burn as a Klingon, but he was kind of, I suppose, refined slightly because he had to be. He was a Starfleet officer. He was brought up by humans, so he was slightly, you could say, the atypical Klingon, if you like. But generally speaking, and then you get introduced to characters like Kern, they were just like, you know, the way that episode where they swap, don't they? Riker and goes aboard the Klingon ship, and I think that was Kern, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Yes, Kern was the exchange officer.
Yeah, and it's just like the way he just walks onto the bridge, and everyone's like, I genuinely feel that all the crew are like, shit. And even when he gives the order to you know, engage, it's like, not engage, execute. It's like, oh my god, like, holy. But everything about him, it just exuded. It's almost like, I am, you know, a warrior, a vicious warrior. I'm not going to just sit there and take your life, but you do not cross me, you do not mess with me. And that is the image that I have built up all these years for Klingons. Because what they are. That is what they are. Like the Jem'Hadar, the proper Jem'Hadar, not this, whatever this is, but the proper Jem'Hadar, they're actually engineered to be like that too.
Yeah.
And that's what you expect from them. And then all of a sudden you've got this Klingon who's like laying down on the floor with his, and it's like, oh, look at me. You know, because I want to represent the people of the 21st century. We're not in the 21st century.
Yeah, I'm just so this is like so totally full of honor.
Oh my goodness!
And you know, it's they've got no clue what Star Trek is. And they keep bringing these writers on from other franchises, shows, or genres, and they can't do it. They can't write it because they don't know what it is. Absolutely horrendous.
They haven't got a clue, and I think they're again, excuse the French, but they're scratching their backsides. They haven't got a clue. They just haven't. They're like, oh, we'll put this together, and then, as you said, they'll take ideas from other episodes or other shows and just try and rehash them and think, oh, look how original that is. Oh, look at my wonderful idea. No, it's rubbish. It's not just rubbish. It's insulting. We're not stupid, you know, and don't patronize us with this rubbish, because that's what it is. It's, oh gosh,
it is utter crap, and it's coming our way next month. We are roughly just a little over a month away from it, and I have to sit there, watch it. I have to watch it, and do a go around video on it. And sit there with my brain falling out my nose, and try and be fair.
I'm so looking forward to your first review. I honestly, I just cannot wait. I'm gonna put it on notification on the because I just want to see that first 2 seconds of your face, or even the thumbnail. It's going to be hilarious. I can't wait.
I'm just going. I'm planning the therapy afterwards. I think, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know how much the therapist costs, but yeah, that 10 forward that follows that, I think I will be asking for a lot of super chats just to pay for the therapist. It's going to be hard.
I don't blame you.
See, I'm not. I just want to get this out of the way. I'm not against relatively. I don't like to use this, but girly shows. Okay, you could say that Buffy was relatively a girly show, but I absolutely loved Buffy. And the wife and I do have different tastes. We have similar tastes, but we do have our own interests and own tastes. And I watched a show with her. She had it in the background, and I ended up getting into it. It's called Gilmore Girls. Now, Gilmore Girls sounds like quite an effeminate show, and it is centered around this mother and daughter. And it's a mother-daughter relationship in this wacky sort of ultimately suburban town in America. But it's not really them that I'm focusing on in the show. It's all the other characters in this town, and there's loads of them. There's absolutely loads of them. The dialogue is smart, quippy, and quick, and the characters are interesting and rich and very diverse in the way that they behave, in the things, their interests. And the town is just a sort of wacky town you want to live in, because it seems like they've got no sort of worries in the world except what's going on in the town. So I watched the show, and it is actually genuinely enjoyable. There's a lot of, like I said, there's just a lot of. You've got the mother-daughter dynamic, but it's also the grandparents and I'm so thankful for my wife for introducing that show, because it is a good show. It's just clever, intelligent writing, but that doesn't mean for a second that I want a Gilmore Girls writer to come and write Star Trek.
That's it. That's exactly it. Time and a place for different things.
Exactly.
Mm.
And I just I can't abide it. It's going to be. I'm going to need the support of my entire community, and we're going to have to share some stiff drinks. We'll get some stiff drinks in Discord, I think.
I think so. With you, so look, you got to tell there. He's already supporting you with that one.
Oh yes, I think we'll have to just get everybody on. It'd be like a 10 forward of 6 people, and it's just be like, I don't know whether you've seen the Freedom Tunes little cartoon segment they did with whatever podcast, where they've animated it, and it's the funniest thing. But I think it's going to be something akin to that, where we're just going to go, this stupid show, and that's it. That's all it's going to be.
Oh man, not looking forward to it.
No, neither am I, my friend. Neither am I.
Sad because you want to start the new year off with something quite nice.
Yeah.
And we're going to start the new year off with that. It's like, really?
Yes, I'm going to start 2026 with a lobotomy. There is. To be fair, I know that a lot of people in my Discord are gamers, and I know that yourself, Gooner, you're a gamer, and not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that, but we're gonna just spend a little bit of time talking about some releases that came into the light, out of the darkness, and revealed into the light yesterday at the Game Awards. There are 3 games of interest, and one is Resident Evil, obviously Resident Evil Requiem. Now, you're not familiar with Resident Evil, I know that, Gooner, but no. You should be.
Okay.
I highly recommend. I will, you know, we will speak off air, and I will recommend the Resident Evil you should play. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy a Resident Evil title. But yeah, Resident Evil Requiem or Resident Evil 9 got another trailer. Now it's an incredibly disjointed and pretty uneven trailer that doesn't really tell you a lot, but I believe it was just a vehicle for the official reveal that we're getting one of the bigger Resident Evil characters coming in, and he's going to be in a playable character for half of the game, and it's Leon. Leon is back in Resident Evil Requiem, so that was a big reveal. Oh, just not surprising at all because of leaks and whatnot, but also 2 Tomb Raider games. So Tomb Raider has had a little bit of an interesting time in these interesting times. So I take it you're familiar with the new modern Tomb Raider games.
More so the modern. It's quite funny. I mean, I started gaming back in the late 1970s with that binatone console where you got the doop doop.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's it. I
had one until about a year ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
there you go. Because that's nostalgia for you.
Oh hell yes.
Then we had to get that because we couldn't afford the Atari because everyone that was the one we had to look like it had the proper arcade Space Invaders and the Pac-Man and whatnot. But
yeah.
It kind of just evolved. I had the ZX Spectrum 48K. I had some classic games on there.
I've still got mine.
Yeah, and then I borrowed my friend's Commodore 64. Then I moved on to an Amiga 500, and then the console started. So that's been my kind of evolution with games. But ironically, I never played the original Tomb Raider ones. I never touched them. I don't know what the reason was. There's probably no rhyme or reason for it, but I never did. My kind of introduction to Tomb Raider, maybe a lot of people are surprised by this, were the recent trilogy, the more modern ones, which I played. And I quite like them, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm the kind of gamer I can't do the Call of Duty games, the Battlefield, because it's too fast for me. I can't do it. My reaction time is not there. You know, when I was a kid, I used to master those little kind of hand. You know, the handheld games you used to get.
Yeah.
The little handheld that the little noises they'd make, and I'd be on those for hours, and I'd master them because I'd be familiar with the timing of each and every alien that would appear, and I knew exactly when it would be on the screen.
Pattern recognition.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, as you get older, things slow down, and I can't deal. I cannot deal with these. People say, "Why don't you play this?" When I'm like, I can't do it, and I can't deal with sophisticated menu systems and games which involve you using more than 1 or 2, 3, 4 buttons when you're doing something. So I tend to prefer the third-person story-based games. Hence, Last of Us. Hence, Uncharted. Hence, the game I'm playing at the moment, The Plague Tale, and of course, Tomb Raider. And I liked the 3, iterations that came out. I quite enjoyed them. Very Uncharted-like, I found, but really good. Oh, I also did play the first 3 or 4 Assassin's Creed games as well, which I thoroughly enjoyed. God of War, of course. So they're the type of third-person story-based games I love. They're the ones I really do like. And then I didn't, I did like the Tomb Raiders, and I was just wondering what's happened to it because I thought it's strange that they're not bringing another one out. But then they did revamp the originals, didn't they? Quite recently, I think it was. They kind of revamped them. They gave them a new lease of life, if you like.
A facelift.
Yes, a facelift. That's right. And I think they've gone down really well from what I've seen because, you get on your YouTube when you go onto YouTube, you have the algorithms of what you like, and my timeline was filled with people live streaming or playing this game, and I was like, wow. But because I never played it myself, I didn't really take too much interest. But then these trailers dropped yesterday. And by the way, that award show, I don't know why I stayed up till 4 a.m. watching it. Absolute pants, as far as I'm concerned. I'll tell you the award show, which I thought was one of the best, or not award show, game show, if you like, that I ever saw, was E3 in 2016. Now, I know this is going to cause a little controversy now.
No,
because it did reveal.
Not. It's not going to cause...
Okay.
Because I was exactly where you were.
Right,
I sat in my car and
Yeah.
I watched that.
Oh, it was because it started off with Lost Legacy, which I was like, wow, because I loved Chloe from Uncharted 2. I loved the character, and to see her again, I'm like, oh my god, this is brilliant. Because the way they did it, different to the game, they covered her face in the trailer, the reveal trailer, so you didn't know who it was. I thought that was so clever. And then right at the end, she reveals herself, and the whole audience went absolutely mad. Then you got the rest of the show, and then of course you get the reveal at the end of it, which was the second part. Now, I didn't even know they were going to make a second part. I didn't necessarily want a second part. I think we've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
I didn't really necessarily want it, but it was there. And I was like, what? Where's that come from? And it sent the internet into a frenzy. Absolutely utter frenzy. Oh my God. Whether you like the game or not, you cannot deny that that is one of the most incredibly powerful reveal trailers I've ever seen in media, full stop. It was just because I think a lot of people didn't expect it. Some people may have guessed that they were working on another game or a second part, but it was insane. And I just loved that whole show. I thought there was something about it. Now, apart from that flute guy in their orchestra, I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, who's really mad. So when they do when they play the orchestra at the end, they play the themes of all the contenders for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
They mix it with their actual theme itself of the show. And there's one character on there. Maybe someone in the chat knows what I'm talking about. There's this guy who's just so eccentric with his flute, and he's got all different types of instruments, and he's a joy to watch. I'll send you a clip if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'll put it on Discord.
Yeah.
He's a joy to watch, and that is the best part of the show. You wait 5 hours to watch him. It's brilliant. But I was quite excited with these two releases. I have to say, wasn't expecting two. When I was watching it, I thought it was one game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, no, there's this one, Legacy of Atlantis, I think it is.
Yes.
And then what was it?
Catalyst.
Catalyst. Yeah. And you think, wow. So I'm quite looking forward to that. That was quite good. I was disappointed because I was thinking they may do another God of War start, maybe a little bit of a teaser, because I know they're working on a new God of War game. Reva, obviously, he's more akin to the originals, but it's something that I would really like to see. So I was disappointed that there's nothing like that. But the Tomb Raider, for me, the two Tomb Raider games and Resident Evil, although I haven't played it, I liked it because I know that you guys are big fans of that game. So I thought, at least for these guys, there's something there.
Yeah.
Apart from that, the show wasn't all that. And I just want to mention one other thing, which I found absolutely hysterical. They had the award for the best adaptation from game to either TV or film. Guess what won it?
I think it was yeah.
Guess what won it?
I think it was The Last of Us, wasn't it?
Oh, see, not even the first season, the second season. This is a pile of absolute. We sit there destroying and taking apart shows like Discovery, and that's no better.
No.
I'm going to be a dad. You know. I mean, and Neil Druckmann goes up to take the award. I'm thinking, mate, you've left the show. What are you doing there taking the award? You've done a runner, mate.
He's fucked off.
But I'll take the award. Yeah, oh no, I'll take that because it's all about me because I'm a narcissist. Oh, I'll come. And the funniest thing is he goes, "Oh, the actors. Oh no, I've got to pay homage to the actors. They did the best they could." It's almost like seriously, I didn't know what I was watching. It was unreal.
I didn't know he went up and accepted the award.
He took it with the actor that played Tommy.
What an absolute ballsy move that was.
I've left the show, but I'll take the award.
It's like yeah. So I wrote the second game, which I've played so far. I've played about 6 hours of Misery Simulator 2. Okay, so I've played about 6 hours of it, and I've gotten as far as I wanted to at that point. I will go back to it and try and complete it because I know that there's more game there. I don't give a flying crap about the story. I hate the story. I think it sucks. I think it's just awful. And the TV show was going to go one of two ways. The TV show, and they were going to piss off one side or the other, regardless of what they did. So if they had stuck, if they stuck to the game, then you were going to piss off the amount of people, the same amount of people that you pissed off with the game, and there was a lot of people. And you mentioned the E3 stuff a while back, or they were going to deviate from the games and piss off the other side, but at the same time admit that the second game was shit and it was wrong and he shouldn't have done it. Now the issue that I have primarily with The Last of Us 2 is the disingenuous nature of its marketing campaign. And I harken back to that E3 trailer in 2016 because that filled me with goosebumps. And I sat in my car, I was on my break at work, my first morning break, and I went, I've got to watch that trailer. I watched the E3 trailer, and the crowd, as soon as they see the Firefly pendant, the crowd uproar, everyone cheered, and I'm like, yes! We're getting a second part to that epic, awesome, incredible story. Fantastic. Bring it on. Fucking amazing. And then you see Joel, and he goes, you really want to be doing this? And he's, I'm just going to kill them all and make them pay. And it's like, I'm going to kill every single last one of them. And you think, yes, that's what we want. And then hit 2020. And then hit the leaks. And even the marketing stuff leading up to that, told us, get my words out, told us that the game was going to be a Joel and Ellie experience again, and it lied. And then, so the leaks came out, and then YouTubers naturally started discussing it and going, man, this is crap. If you're going to do this, is awful. What the hell are you doing? And then Naughty Dog shut them down. Took away their livelihoods.
Yeah, that's bang out.
Threatened their livelihoods. And Druckmann did that. And as far as I'm concerned, that earned the game a blacklist for me. And the only reason I own the game is because it was £10 on the PlayStation Network, and you were playing it. It's the only reason I got it. And as far as I'm concerned, that game, although the game looks beautiful, the game plays beautiful, it is an absolute misery of a sort
Oh, it's horrible. It's very depressing.
It's awful, and it's like it's the same sort of thing that I sort of think with regards to shows like Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Incredible writing, incredible acting, incredible all round. It's an incredible show. Law and Order Special Victims Unit hits you, and it gut punches you, and the stories in there are gritty and grounded and dirty and horrible, and it's a visceral show. Watch a season of it, you're gonna get depressed. Right. You watch one episode, you're like, ooh, that's impactful. You watch an entire season, it's just like, I hate the world. I don't want to live. and to me, The Last of Us 2 was that. And the ridiculousness of Abby. How is she getting roided up like that in a post-apocalyptic world? And killing the pregnant lady, you're having to do that, killing the dogs, making you feel guilty for it, giving everybody names, having them shout the name. It was to me, it was a complete manipulation, and Druckmann should be forever ashamed of himself, and I think that he is, because he ducked out of the show that he ruined.
Yes, but he collected the award.
And he gets the award.
And he collected it.
Yeah, and then the people who are supposed to bring us season three of this amazing show are sitting there going, What do we do now?
Yeah, probably. Well, most likely, yeah.
So
The other thing about being disingenuous was the second trailer. They made out that Joel was well and truly alive.
they aged him up as well.
They aged him up. You got Ellie running through that section, and then she's grabbed, and she turns around, and it's Joel.
Yeah.
But in the game, without any, well, I might spoil it. It's not Joel. It's Jesse, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, why'd you do that? And he goes, oh, I wanted to get people talking. Well, yeah, you've certainly done that, mate.
No,
But
what you wanted to do is sell more copies on day
wrong
one.
things. It was awful to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're cheating the fans, and I think that a lot of people look. I get it. I can sit here. I've played it. I've played the game 3-4 times. I enjoy the game. I'm not going to lie, and I know that. But I understand and I respect that. I wouldn't say I love the game. For me, the first game is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
If they never made anything else, it wouldn't bother me, because I never expected there to be a sequel.
No.
I thought the way that ended left so much debate open for anyone who plays the game. And then there's a talking point. Did he do the right thing? Was he morally correct to do that? Where there was a potential chance, but then there's a chance that it wouldn't have worked. And then the young girl loses her life. But then you've got to understand that he's had a second chance of fatherhood.
Yeah.
And that's why he's become enamored with this girl.
It's a very Star Trek open-ended question.
Yes. And it would have been fine to leave it alone.
Yeah.
And then it's up to us to imagine what happens. Do they live a happy life in Jackson? It's up to us. I never expected there to be a second game, but then that trailer dropped. I was so excited for it, incredibly so. I was watching that trailer reveal over and over again because I loved the crowd's reaction. I was like, wow, look at this. This is just insane. And I get it. When I played it, and then when that thing happened, I was pissed as well. I was like, what the f is this? I was expecting maybe that he may go, but he'd go in a bit of a blaze of honor, because that's what the character deserved. That he might be maybe in the middle of the game or near to the end of the game, and it's because he's doing it, he's sacrificing himself maybe to save Ellie or save his brother. We don't know. But it just made absolute zero sense to do it the way they did. And speaking of the character, which they've realized and changed it in the TV show. And by the way, I think that actress probably would have been a better Ellie anyway.
Yeah.
She auditioned for Ellie. But you are in an era, a post-apocalyptic era, where number one, you are scared for your life at every waking second. You probably don't have the best source of food. You're scavenging for food. Where in the world, where even a man who obviously with the way men are different to women in their genetic makeup, maybe can put on muscle mass a lot easier, and all of that stuff. For women, it's a lot harder to look like that. Yeah. But even for a man to look like that in that kind of era would be almost nonsensical. It just wouldn't happen. You got to be able to sleep right. I mean, I used to go to the gym. I never got my sleep patterns right, but I knew about diet, sleep patterns. Everything has to be on point. It's a science. It's actually a science to try and create a physique like that.
Yeah. It's protein.
It's everything.
Which you'd been missing.
Yes, but you're in a post where you could be woken up. You're sleeping with one eye open.
Yeah.
You could be sleeping, and then there'll be a clicker above you. You don't know. It's so stupid and nonsensical that there's no way on hell even a bloke wouldn't be able to get a physique like that in that, let alone a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm not. That's not me being sexist. I'm just being biologically factual. It's the way it is. It's a lot harder for women. I'm not saying women can't look that way, but it's a lot harder.
Yeah. And it's acknowledged.
And again, this is what I was saying earlier about Trek writers of today. It's almost like they're insulting the viewers. It's like, we just put this crap on and you'll accept it because you're thick. Well, we're not. We're not thick. We've got some kind of common sense within us. We're watching it because actually Trek is one of those kind of shows where it is a little bit more of thought-provoking. So you've got a specific audience that you're capturing here that want to watch that kind of stuff. They might want to listen to techno babble, all of this stuff. They want to, all the ships in the old, they were all thought about the actual in real life science. They based it on scientific fact. So it is kind of more of an intellectual show, if you like, in my opinion. So to then throw all this nonsense at us, and then we're just expected to take it, very similar to the way they introduced that character of Abby. Who in their right mind are going to believe that's what you're going to get in a post-apocalyptic era? I can understand if she was like that just as the apocalypse breaks, because maybe that's what she's been doing.
Yeah.
But not 20 years afterwards, when you know, it's insulting in that respect. Yes, I totally agree.
Well, it's like with Joel. They tried to vilify him, and vilified the decision he'd made. Now, the beauty of that first game is, as I said earlier, very Star Trek of it, to leave it open-ended, and then leave you thinking, okay, I want to have a conversation about this. Did he do the right thing? Did he do the right thing? Because do you sacrifice a life on a chance at saving the world? Or do you... are you even capable of walking away from someone you consider your child? I know, for example, I'm sorry to everybody in the world, but you're screwed with me, because I will choose my children. I would never sacrifice my children for the world, ever, and it just wouldn't happen. So, sorry, I don't like you that much. You know, it's a choice I would make. And you want to vilify me? Go ahead, but you're not going to convince me that I've done the wrong thing, and you're not going to be able to convince Joel that he did the wrong thing. Now, here's the other problem I had. The game didn't deal with a very cogent point with Abby. Joey killed Abby's father because Abby's father was going to cut into an innocent girl, take her brain out, kill her, in the hopes of finding a cure for humanity. And he died because of that. He was going to end a human life, and instead his life was ended, and the life of everyone in that room. Now that is a grey area. It is a bit of a conundrum. It is a moral quandary. But do I think Abby's right to go and seek revenge and do what she did? Hell no. Because it's an eye for an eye here. Fine, fair enough. I get that, but what you're doing is you're manipulating your audience and telling them what to believe, which is what New Trek does. It doesn't leave it open-ended. It doesn't deal with both sides of an issue. We've said it many times here before. They just put it out, and that's their opinion's right and you're wrong. And Druckmann said that. He said that so many times. And he says, Joel's a monster. It's like, Joel's not a good human being. But would anyone be in that circumstance? Like you said, they're sleeping with one eye open all the time. They're constantly on high alert. When for example, we've been on this earth in excess of 40 years each. There have been moments in your life where you have been on high anxiety, like incredible. And I don't know whether you share this opinion, but when you're on extremely high anxiety, your instincts become hyper focused, and you can pick up on so many things, and it's like you people watch, and your brain is constantly forming a puzzle because you're on high anxiety. But holy crap, you are knackered. Like all that you when you come, it's like a sugar crash. When you come down from it, you are flat on your face. And imagine every day of your life being that way. So yeah, you would become a monster. Yes, you would essentially become a pariah and a survivalist.
He was no more a monster than anyone else in that.
Exactly. And yeah, they can say, oh, the lessons, you're making the point for us. It's like, no, what we're saying is you missold a product. You sold us a game that was nothing, and I think that's why people reacted badly to it. You sold. If you'd have gone, if you'd have spoiled the Joel dead factoid, element of that game in the first trailer, you go, this is The Last of Us, but we're knocking it up a notch. And if you would have revealed that, then people would have known what was coming. And then they would have bought it based on the quality of the story.
Correct.
You'd know then, because The Last of Us fans wouldn't touch it. Then it would be word of mouth that would bring it up and bring it into it. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that pardon me for saying so, that effing W can go W himself, because as far as I'm concerned, that man has destroyed a perfectly good franchise, and he did the same with Uncharted 4.
Yes,
he absolutely did the same with Uncharted 4. He kicked out Miss Hennig, and he made a. Don't get me wrong, the gameplay was fantastic, but the game itself was awful. I didn't enjoy the fourth one anyway. I thought the first, second, and third was the perfect trilogy.
You know, that's a weird thing. A lot of people always said to me, or I heard a lot of people saying that the third one was quite weak. I don't think so. I thought the third one was quite good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the third one. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll be honest with you. I've enjoyed all 5 versions that I've played. As in, I'm including Lost Legacy.
Yes, I platinumed Lost Legacy in a weekend.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Really liked it. I just love Chloe. I think Chloe is a fantastic character. I really like her a lot. And I just wish they would bring out something else with her in it, but I don't know whether that's going to happen now or not. And we probably don't even want Naughty Dog to carry on doing anything now. But we're getting the space adventure, aren't we? With another character. Yeah,
I don't think
that was also in. Who was also in The Last of Us Season 2.
Yes,
she was one of the Abby's crew, wasn't she?
Yeah,
that's the same character who's in this new game. So, yeah, they just haven't learned. They don't want to learn. They just carry on piling this crap onto you, forcing you to inject it into your veins and just expect you to love it. It's not going to work that way. It just isn't. Well, I think for me, anything, a love affair that you build with anything, it's got to be natural and organic, and not forced. And it shouldn't be telling you what you should be thinking or saying or doing, because the world has got enough of that in reality. We do these things. We watch TV, we watch films, we play games, we read books. For what reason? For escapism. So we don't then want to see the same crap that we see on news at 10 every day in our escapism. Yeah. I remember, who's that guy who does the parody of he acts as if he does a parody of he's pretending to be a newscaster, not a newscaster,
Jonathan Pye.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember once when I watched one of his videos, he goes, I want to watch Star Wars because it's pew pew pew, not effing this.
Yeah.
He summed it up brilliant. It's just like one line. He summed up everything that what media has become today.
Yeah.
Just that one line. He said Star Wars is about pew pew pew, not about this representation and that. I don't know the exact words, but he summed it up perfectly. Yeah. And that's what we get everywhere. And it's such a shame that it's even encroached games now. And you think, come on, please.
Yeah, and this is a huge problem. I made this point in one of my very first rant videos that I made. It is on the channel, anyone who wants to go and watch it, and it was The Last of Us 2. In fact, it's not. I don't think it is on the channel, actually. I think it was on the original channel that I made, which is now UK Danger Man Repairs. I think I played it in a live stream once, where I said that if you are in the games industry, you have to respect the art. But Neil Druckmann's job was to make money. That's it. He was to make money, to make Naughty Dog a lot of money. And he would have done that. Now, he made a lot of money, but he didn't make as much as he thought he would. And instead, he said he wanted to be divisive. He wanted to split the fan base. He wanted people, he wanted to split it down the middle. And I can never understand that narcissism. Because as Star Trek current Star Trek custodians are like that. The Star Wars custodians are like that. They want to split fan bases down. They want to completely break them down into nothing. They don't want to make money. Now, I've said this before, Gooner. I've said if Corgi comes out with Micro Machine Star Trek ships again, I'll buy the whole effing lot of them. If they come out with the model kits, fresh, new, redesigned model kits of all the original Star Trek stuff, I'm gonna buy it. If they come out with an absolutely gorgeous figure of Ellie from the first game and Joel from the first, I'm gonna buy it because I have interest in those things. They're amazing things. They can make a lot of money. You want as many people as possible to buy your game. Do you fundamentally change what it is to reach new audiences? No. You draw in those audiences by retaining the identity that you have. Star Trek has an identity. Right now it has an identity crisis, but Star Trek had an identity and it appealed to a niche group that was ever growing. It wasn't growing as fast as they wanted, but it was certainly growing, and people would come into the franchise all the time. And then you have the current custodians of Star Trek. What they have is an idea of what a Star Trek fan is. Oh, they like the pure lasers. Oh, they like beam me up Scotty and flybys of the ship and cool explosions. They think we're children. But what we're not, and we said it before, we're highly intelligent people. We're not, a lot of us aren't scientists. You and I aren't scientists. But we are thinkers, and because Star Trek taught us to think, it taught us how to think, not what to think. It raised us. Star Trek raised us with intelligent writing, with interesting characters, with fantastic visual effects for the time. But I would be okay with those visual effects nowadays. Star Trek has a fan base, and what you've done, same as The Last of Us, is you've insulted that fan base. You've made them out to be thick, unintelligent children, and we're not. We are adults. We are adults that have the money to buy these things, and you are doing a shit job at selling them.
Can I come in and say something we spoke about earlier off stream? That's one thing. And the other point I want to make before I do that is talk about dividing or making the fan base divisive. There's a good way of doing that as well. And the good way was proven at the end of Last of Us Part 1, or the first Last of Us game, because it was divisive in the sense that some people would have said, I think he was right to do what he did. And some people would say, he was wrong to do what he did. And that's division already. You've already got a discussion going on. You've got someone talking about the game. And when you've got people talking about a game or a TV show or a film, that stirs up interest. And then that generates someone, oh, hang on, what's this you're talking about? Oh, it's a game called Last of Us. Really? Oh, maybe I'll give that a go. I've got a PlayStation, or I've got access to something which I can use, a platform which I can then get access to this game. And that's how it grows. And I love that organic growth. Natural organic growth. So the division is there. They don't need to artificially divide the fan base if that's what he was trying to achieve, and so many other people are now trying to do, because if you do good storytelling with a conclusion to anything, which might have, like, some people, well, we can debate this, was it ethically right, or it could be anything. And I just feel that is a byproduct of good storytelling, as was the first game. You don't need to artificially do this. The other thing I was going to say is you're talking about how they're trying to, reach out to new audiences and appeal to us. So we discussed this, didn't we, in the morning when we were doing the test for the sound. And I said, think about Star Trek in the 60s. It was cancelled. It was dead. You might not have never seen it again. What brought it back to life? It was that niche group of people, Trekkies or whatever you want to call them, who brought that show back to life. They campaigned, and they got it back on our screens. That eventually led to the first film. It was because of them we have what we have today.
Yeah.
It wasn't because we were appealing to every single sector of the whole human race and giving representation that brought back Star Trek. No, it was the actual diehard Trekkies that did that. And it allowed and then all the iterations that followed in the OG era, the fan base grew. I saw that myself. As I said to you, I kind of reconnected with Trek with the third season of Next Gen. So we're talking early 90s here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many years after? I was 20, 21 then, 22 maybe. So a good 15, 16, 17 years after I first watched the original series as a kid. And already I saw then going to these conventions, they were huge. I mean, even the ones in the UK, they were packed. Absolutely packed. You had to book well in advance to even have a chance of getting a hotel room to go to these things. So much so, I have a story for you. With the first time we went to, it was in the Docklands. This is where Brandon Braga, Ronald Moore, and what was her name? Lolita Faccio, one of the writers, was there, and a couple of other authors were there. So there wasn't any major stars either.
And I just want to break just to say hi to Watch Nerd. She's in the chat. Hello, Watch Nerd. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by. Watch Nerd, everybody. Watch Nerd and Zella are in the chat, so say hi to them.
It feels weird. I'm here and then it just feels weird. What's going on here?
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a different dimension. And this particular convention, just going back, this is so funny. It was packed. It was packed. No stars, no as in actors, just Brandon Braga and the Red Hot Chili Peppers tried to get in, and they were refused entry because it was too packed. They said it was going to. We were already, the health and safety. They were refused entry. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone. We were there. Everyone was. Did you hear what happened? No. Oh, they were refused entry. They were here. Yes, the Red Hot Chili Peppers were here. They were refused entry.
Wow.
So we already had the masses. We already have the masses of people enjoying, loving something. You don't need to have these idiots tell us, oh, but we've got to appeal to the wider audience. You don't, because we already are. You're doing it naturally. You don't have to have someone wearing spectacles. You don't have to have Tilly. You don't have to have all of this stuff, because this show has already generated all walks of life. When I go to these conventions, I used to see people of all walks of life.
Yeah.
DM, all walks, all sizes.
Yeah.
Some people fit, some people not so fit. Different colors, different, glasses, no glasses, different hairstyles, no hair, bald like me. Yeah. You had everyone there. So there is already representation, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
You don't have to artificially instill it. That's what it really rubs me up the wrong way.
But every single one of those people would say that they've been inspired by Star Trek rather than lectured by Star Trek. And that's the biggest problem for me, is them telling us you have to accept us for who we are. Actually, I'm not willing to accept you for who you are because you're not willing to accept you for who you are. You're not even willing to be who you are or explore who you are. You want to change who you are. And I can never be that. And it's a youthful thing to want to do, isn't it? Because when we're young, we like to mimic, we like to ape, we like to copy, we like to get in with the in crowd and adjust our behavior to meet other standards. That's a feature of the young. However, as you get older, your sense of self-identity grows and fortifies, and you become. It goes one of two ways. You either become comfortable with who you are and accept who you are, or you don't, and you try drastic changes that make you extremely unhappy. Or, there's more nuance to that than I can go, and we've got time to go into. But my point in general is, people are People are unwilling to accept certain things about themselves. Limitations, of course. We all need limitations. We need to get away from this mentality that you can be anything you want. Actually, it'd be a really bad idea if I was to become a pilot because I have a history of epilepsy. So it's not really a good idea. So I can't be a pilot. That was knocked off the list when I was 12. You know, no, it's not. Sorry, mate, you can't be a pilot, a commercial pilot. You can't fly in the Air Force. You have limitations. But if you do happen to put on some weight, you can go to the gym, eat well, and lose it. That's something that's within your power. So you have human beings. It's good to inspire. Shows like Star Trek inspire. Stories like The Last of Us ignite debate. Good debate, solid debate. Now all it feels like today, in today's climate, you're getting shouted at and lectured at indirectly, directly, and it's constant. And our escapism is supposed to give us a break from all of that. This is why I do what I do here. This is why I do Discord, because it's a break for me. It's a Friday night. The week is at an end. I don't have to worry about work until Monday. I can just sit down, talk to someone about something that I love, talk to you fantastic people in the chat, and Reva's just said the almost completely blind Reva of Jill Sandwiches, bless him, cotton socks. Can I be a truck driver?
It's true though. What you saying,
mate, I think you'd make a cracking pilot. I can't do it, but maybe you can. But no, Star Trek inspires us, and very much in the way that we are going to actually talk about the episode. We need to get on to the episode that we've chosen tonight.
Before you start that, can I just say, from my experience, I won't let it be a complete secret. I'm going through some bad times at the moment, but I had also a bad period, not so great period in my early 20s as well, late teens to early 20s. And you know what gave me a respite? Was watching Next Gen. I kid you not.
Star Trek.
I used to the video cassette recorders. I'd go up in my bedroom, and I put them on, and I think you had 2 episodes of tape. I think. Yeah, they were. Yeah, because I've got the collection now. More. I think I've got. The Next Gen collection is a bit kind of broken because I've got some of it on recorded tape, if you might, pirate copies. But the rest of it is originals, and I think it's 2 episodes per tape. And I'll just stick that on, and it would be, an hour and a half of pure escapism. And even if the stories were poor, and sometimes I'd be disappointed, what was that rubbish? Seriously. Yeah. But generally, the episodes were of good quality. And as I said, now looking back on it, most of it is actually good, even the more poorer ones. But you have those, I think you guys were talking about it maybe last week or the week before, that when they try and do, like Strange New Worlds, it's all about stupid. They're trying to be funny, and they're not. Gimmicks. It's not even working. It's not even working. Yeah. But they did try and put that into a few episodes of the Next Gen, and it worked. It worked so well.
Yeah.
So that was my thing, and I think you probably want to.
And there's a super chat for RRTNZ. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the stream. A hail team. I have to admit I prefer Chain of Command to Inner Light as far as Patrick Stewart performances go. Brilliant. Well, Chain of Command, I've already covered Chain of Command on the stream. Zellwatch Nerd and I did that, a fair while back. Chain of Command is, I think, one of my favourite 2-parters. It is grossly underrated in my opinion.
Brilliant.
And it's a phenomenal, and the performances with both Patrick Stewart and David Warner are out of this world. Out of this world. And I find it shocking that Star Trek has not had more awards. The actors are superb in it. I don't think you could actually name a single bad actor in Star Trek.
No.
Even the guest stars are brilliant. The extras could do with a bit of work. I thought about putting together an extras video if I knew that CBS wouldn't absolutely pound me to death for with copyright. But some of the extras are a little bit tough to watch, especially when they're reacting to stuff. But yeah, the performances that are given in Star Trek, especially Chain of Command.
Oh, it's amazing.
When you get Ronnie Cox coming in.
Oh.
I can't think of. I can't think. Jellicoe is probably my favourite captain.
And I was so glad he was in Prodigy. I didn't even realise he was going to be in that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
So cool.
Absolutely phenomenal.
I think Patrick Stewart, didn't he? He did a lot of research. He went and spoke to people about torture.
Yeah.
He did a lot of prep for that role.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, he was superb in that.
Oh,
I think
amazing.
you guys hit the nail on the head again. I can't remember which show it was, and you were talking about Cisco, Shaw, Kirk, even, and the captains like that. They probably suit the more kind of battle combatant kind of roles, whereas Picard was more of a philosopher, a diplomat kind of person. And yeah, I think I agree with that, because I remember when my brother and I watched yesterday's Enterprise, he said he loved it like I did. He said that bit at the end where Picard's going, over my dead body, you're going to get, and he started getting all kind of into the battle mode. He said that just didn't work for him. He said it's just not him. And I never quite understood what he meant at the time. I mean, we were both a lot younger, but I thought, no, that's a great episode. I was just biased. I loved the episode. I thought, no, it's yesterday's Enterprise, one of my favourite episodes. I loved it. And just brilliant time travel that actually worked and made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I adored the episode, still do to this day. But now I look back on it and I think, yeah, he wasn't great at those things. But when it came to this episode, Chain of Command, Inner Light, which we're going to talk about, he's just on another level. And the way he and David Warner it was like a tennis match, watching a brilliant tennis match. It was fantastic the way they rebounded and bounced off each other. It was superb acting, brilliant.
And then on top classically of that, trained actors Jellicoe as well.
Jellicoe, I'm sorry, I know he was like, get it done.
Yeah, he was getting it done.
But before I came in on the show, literally 5 minutes before, I kid you not, I was thinking, there's things that sometimes I procrastinate with, all right, I do. And then suddenly, whose voice do I hear and whose face do I see? Get it done.
Get it done.
You see the imprint. This is a TV show. He was in 2 episodes, and 5 years later, God knows when that came out. It was season 6, was it? Chain of Command? I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So that would have been 93, maybe. So we're talking 32 years ago, something like that. That Get It Done is still imprinted in me to give me a kick up the backside to go and do something.
100%, and that's where again Star Trek inspires with words. Yeah, unfortunately they made Picard Action Man in the films. Yeah. And RMTNZ says Amok Time, Chain of Command, In the Pale Moonlight, Damage. These are episodes that elevate Trek. Nothing in New Trek comes close. No, you're quite right. Now, I've done special reviews for 3 episodes of Deep Space Nine that I absolutely love, and that is In the Pale Moonlight, Duet, and The Visitor. Those are 3 reviews that I put my heart, body, and soul into RTNZ. If you haven't seen them, please check them out on the channel. They're roughly about 20 to 30 minutes long each. I try to be as professional as possible. But yeah, those episodes were amongst some of my favourite of all time. The Inner Light was, for me, it was the first time that a concept truly blew me away. So for those who haven't seen The Inner Light, what are you doing watching this stream? Go and watch The Inner Light now. Now, The Inner Light is probably one of the most beautiful episodes of Star Trek. It's so very simple. And the budget was, they did so much with the budget that they had, and they there wasn't, it wasn't special effects heavy. There wasn't really much about the episode. It was very story driven. Reva's got to head off, guys, but it was cool to check it out what I could. My friend Reva, you look after yourself, sir. We'll talk very soon.
Hey, buddy.
I've commented before. Very good detailed breakdown of the DS9. Yeah, thank you, Tetrock. It's always good to have you here, and commenting. But yeah, the Inner Light, the concept behind it, brilliant. They did it was a very, very intelligently structured episode, and the writing, I don't know whether I was watching it today, and the writing gives you clues along the way about what's going on, about it's in when they through what they say to Cayman in the scenes that it sort of transitions back, the little subtleties that they utter to give you an idea of what is going on. That there is a time differential here. And you know, he's for those who haven't watched it, Enterprise encounters a probe, and the probe sends out a beam that knocks Captain Picard unconscious. Captain Picard is then transported to a planet. What's the planet called? I watched it today as well.
Yeah. It's the Catan system, isn't it?
Catan system, yeah, something like that.
Catan, and I know, I forgot the name.
Resic.
Yes.
Yes, the Catan system. That's the Resic is the district.
What was the planet called then?
I think the planet was called Catan.
It is called Catan. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's transported back there, and he's got and he wakes up. He's apparently been very ill. His name is Cayman, and he's got a wife, and he's got this entire life, and what you don't realize at first, you think, hey, he's been transported there. Where is it? He thinks it's a holiday program. He's trying to end the program. He's thinking maybe he's been kidnapped. He's been put in. You know, is he captive? And it sort of stays. The story stays with him for a small portion, and then cuts back to the Enterprise, where he's still unconscious on the floor. So you're not sure what's going on here. And then throughout the episode, you jump back into Picard's perspective, and he's aged. And 5 years has passed, and then 10 years has passed, and then 30 years has passed, and you know, by the end of the episode, he's an old man. But the writing is so intelligent that, and the structure is so telling that you are along for a journey that's worth it. You know, the payoff's going to be great. And it's more evolution of Picard from this kind of stuffy, musty Starfleet captain to someone who's more human, you know. And it's in some ways with Next Gen, it's Picard and Data actually becoming more human, because Picard is like this stuffy old book. And Data is like this innocent android child that's learning about humanity, and Picard is opening up over the course of the Next Generation, and learning to and basically begins treating people like family. But this is one of those Picard evolution stories where he suddenly has a family. Not done so well in Generations, but this. Again, the concept is amazing, and he lives an entire lifetime, or certainly from the age he was to old age, in the space of, I believe, 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. He lives a lifetime inside his head, So the probe is communicating with him, and it turns out that through the course of this individual's life called Cayman, that Picard is inhabiting, the planet is dying, and it's becoming evident that the sun is getting very hot. The planet is drying out. There's droughts. There's all sorts, all manner of issues, and the planet and the solar system's dying. The star is dying. And they realize that they don't have the technological advancement to get off the planet, so they kind of realize they're doomed. Certainly, the authorities realize that they're doomed. Cayman, Picard figures it out. And he's sort of left his life behind because he's come to accept the new reality of his existence. He is Cayman, and he's almost forgotten that life. And it turns out that this species launched a probe with an experience of Cayman. And the probe made contact with the Enterprise, and showed Picard that life. And Picard has a family. He has children. He desires to have children. Some absolutely beautiful moments, and obviously we'll get into the flute a little bit later. But what are your thoughts at this point, Gooner?
Oh gosh. It's an episode which absolutely nails me to the floor every time I see it. I love the fact that it's not, again, overly burdened with effects and actual dialogue, which is babble, nothing like that. It's just simply a crafted story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, just basics. It has a lovely conclusion. And even the way it starts, it gets, like you said, it keeps you guessing. You don't exactly know, because we've had so many episodes before where, suddenly they're in a place that they're not familiar with, and we don't know whether they're being kidnapped or whether it's actually them. It could be a clone. It could be another version of them. We've seen it. So it really does keep you guessing, and you don't really know what is going on. But at one point, how it affected me was the simplicity of the characters and the love that these strangers are showing him, and patience that they're showing him.
Yeah.
Bataille was initially you can understand his confusion. You're thinking, who the hell are you? You going to do something on me? Are you experimenting on me? Am I a prisoner? What? And then he kind of realizes he can get out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Walks out, and then that's when he has his first encounter with Bataille, I think it is.
Yeah.
And Bataille, the way the actor did it, he was so gentle with him. Unbelievably.
Oh, you want a friend.
Yeah, and oh god, everyone would love a Bataille friend. It's just one of these guys that you could just literally almost like you can give him a hug and just tell him your darkest secrets, and he'll be there for you. It's one of those kind of friends that I think everyone could probably do with and would want. But the way the actor portrayed him was fantastic, and it's almost like he understood that Cayman, not Picard, was having difficulties, and he didn't try and patronize him, didn't get angry with him, just listened to him, and just said, it's okay, everything's okay. Even his wife shows him incredible patience, because I think the first time we go back to the ship, and then we cut back, as you said, and it's 5 years gone, even at that point, Picard is still being almost like, I need to find out what's happened. Yeah. This is not my life. I'm still Jean-Luc Picard. I had a life aboard a starship. And she says, there's a piece of dialogue, and she says, I've been so patient with you. I've been waiting. I want you back now. Yeah. I've been more than patient. I've been more than fair. And I think that's when he realizes that actually this is what I am now, because it's then the next scene where you've got the meeting. One of the people from the board or council or whatever they are, I think it's a council member.
The first officer of Voyager.
Yes.
Same actor, yeah.
Right. Oh, of course it is, yes. Yeah. I thought I recognised him. There you go.
Mr. Cavett himself, yeah.
a fun fact. That's a fun fact. Okay, cool. Thank you for that.
No worries.
So, and they're talking about condensers, aren't they? Water condensers or something. And it's not about the conversation with Cayman at the time. It's between the time this council member, and then Cayman steps in, and he says, "No, this is what we need to do," and he's vehemently passionate about it. And that's when Bataille says, "Do you know what? This is the first time in years I've heard you speak with such passion about the community, and it's so nice to see that." And I think that was the point where he then almost gave up. I'm not looking to try to find out what happened to my old life. I've embraced this life. And I think moving forward, that's how they show, and the story carries on. And he doesn't just become a parent, he becomes a grandparent. And actually, the guy who plays his son is his real son, isn't it? Daniel Stewart, which was I thought a nice touch. I really did think that was a nice touch, because we've had Leonard Nimoy's son in Star Trek. So Adam McCoy and Adam Nimoy starred in a couple of episodes, or one episode if I remember correctly. But it was nice to see that that's his actual real son, and you could feel the dialogue between them. There's a scene where Cayman's not agreeing with Bataille because he takes his friend's name, doesn't he? Because I think Bataille passes.
Yeah.
And his name's his son after him.
And you feel that sadness even though you've not witnessed it.
Yes, exactly. How brilliantly was that done? We don't see, there's no explanation. We don't see him die. We don't know how he's died. We don't know nothing. It's just said in that moment where they're having that ceremony.
Yeah, the naming ceremony
for the first time. And they have the naming ceremony, and they just said he's named after a good friend passed a year ago. And you feel it.
Yeah.
Simplicity at its best.
I mean, that character, the moment where Cayman is playing his flute on the steps, and Bataille is finishing his drink, and he's talking about his Cayman's music, and the wife comes out and puts her hand on Bataille's shoulder and says, "Bataille, go home," and he goes, "Yes, ma'am." And you get such the sense of love these people have for each other.
Oh, it's so
nice. And it's adoration between them all. And when she says she says something that I always say, I say to my team at work, and I say to people, my kids, walk safely, be safe, and it's that love right there. And you think these are such warm people, and it adds to the tragedy of the story.
Exactly that.
But it's so good. It makes you feel. It's not manufactured. It's not crocodile tears, and it's not trying to force you to feel something. It's simply watching people, good people, living their lives on a doomed planet.
And they still are so affectionate, so caring, so loving, so generous, so understanding, and mutually respectful of each other. It's the most. You couldn't ask for a better community of people, really, if you think about it. And they're having to deal with this, oncoming. They know that they're coming to an end.
Yeah.
And look at them. It's
and it speaks to the actors as well. Again, as I say, the guest actors. Now, one thing I didn't realise, Bataille is Dr. Lucas in Enterprise, and immeasurable amount of other roles. But if you think, if you remember Dr. Lucas in the season 4 Borderlands.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Put a mustache on him. Yeah, it's he is a wonderfully warm, kind actor. He's brilliant and perfect to play Bataille.
Oh, brilliant.
His daughter, Cayman's daughter,
Mary something. I can't remember her name. Marcus. I can't remember.
Yeah. I watched it today, and hey, we're getting old, right? Memory's not what it used to be, but every single even the counselor, they're acting with passion. These are guest actors who just come in and play a role, but they're acting. The acting ability is off the charts. It's absolutely off the charts. The characters are warmly. His wife is just wow.
Oh,
and the line, I put your shoes away.
Oh no, that killed me.
Yeah, tear. I get a tear every time.
Absolutely killed me. That bit gets me, and then of course at the end where he realizes they're all back, and he's like,
"Oh my god!" When Pattaya appears again,
it's
just it floors you, doesn't it?
Oh, it really. And then even the speech that she gives at the end, that we live through you now.
Yeah.
It just
tell people about us.
Oh, like what? It's just the most beautiful storytelling.
You wouldn't sort normally attribute music to Picard.
No,
because Picard's, like I said, Picard's a stale book. He's kind of a stale old man at the beginning. It's very sort of get the children off my bridge, and Wesley, get off my chair, shut up, be quiet, Data, that sort of thing. And he becomes a much warmer character, but he is. Music is not something you attribute to Picard. You don't attribute to Picard. He's as dusty as the fossils that he would prefer to dust off. And be archaeologist and whatnot.
He does love his classical music, to be fair. He's well versed in classic.
He's very well versed in it, but you wouldn't. He himself doesn't perform.
No, that's true. I just to digress very quickly. It's funny. So many episodes we've had him listening to classical music. Riker walks in, he gets it wrong every time.
Me say Berlioz.
That's so good. I think that might have been. I feel like that's been like deliberately put in because it's just a bit of a comical moment, and deliberately, it's like every single time he says da-da-da. No.
Okay.
I love that. Anyway, sorry.
Brilliant. But obviously, Cayman, he plays the flute, albeit somewhat poorly at the beginning, and it becomes obviously one of the biggest props in Star Trek history. One of the most popular props in Star Trek history. Not only just a writing tool, but oh, geez, I'm not sure I can get through this. He has the Resican flute, and he's playing it throughout his life. And when they're all gathered there to tell him, "Yeah, you're the one. Do you remember? You remember the probe?" And you see it being launched into the sky, and you think, "Oh wow, that's full circle." And Picard obviously wakes up. He's flabbergasted that he's having to remember all of the crew's names and everything, and you think he's having to readjust to his life after spending half a lifetime on another world, in another life, slowly forgetting he was Jean-Luc Picard. And that moment he wakes up on the bridge, beautiful. But then Riker brings him something that they found on the probe, and it's probably the best 2 minutes of television you'll ever see. Ever. And he opens the box and there's the flute.
But, can I just say something? It's the way they got Jonathan Frakes to act that part.
Yeah.
There's no words. When he realizes what this means to him,
he
kind of gives him a small nod and just walks out quietly.
Yeah, he's just like, I cannot offer nothing to this situation. I'm leaving.
I'm gone.
Clearly, you need it.
You need your time. You need your space. He gets it. The character gets it immediately that, my God, this means something so special to him, and then he puts it to his heart, doesn't he?
Oh my God! And that's why I picked the thumbnail that I did.
And
because it's pivotal.
and I know that, you know, with science, with vacuum of space, actually, you're not supposed to hear the rumble of engines. You're not supposed to be able to hear anything. But what I loved, and I'm sorry if I've stolen your thunder, but the end scene where you hear the rumble of the engines, and then him playing the flute over that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We say that it's one of my favorite episodes. I've probably got a top 10. I've, you know, quite rightly, Chain of Command is up there. Visitor, one of the ones I watched that review, and I was in tears watching your review. That's the thing.
Oh, bless
the
you.
the Visitor is, I think, in a different way, on a part of the Inner Light. Very similar, almost tragic stories, but so beautifully done and so beautifully told. But God, the way this episode, the way it ends, just everything about it is, I would say, not just one of the best TV shows in Star Trek shows. I think it's one of the best pieces of television I've ever watched.
Yeah,
because it can relate. So I was watching it again today because I knew we were going to talk about it. So I wanted to just to refresh my mind. My mum, bless her, she's the furthest you can get away from liking Trek as you possibly can. She's never got it. It's not her thing. She was interested in it. She started saying, "Oh, is that his wife?" And then she started asking questions. She knows who Picard. She knows the people who don't watch Trek, they know who, or Star Wars, they know who Darth Vader is. They know who Captain Kirk is. Like that. She started really getting into it, and then she was upset when he collapsed. You know, when he collapses because they pull the probe away. And that's the other thing about the episode that gets me. You start batting for the team which is on the planet, not the crew. You hate what they're doing. Stop it, Riker. Don't do that. This probe is not an enemy. It's not antagonistic. It's actually trying to deliver a very, very important message. I mean, of course, they don't know that. You know, Worf is like, oh, he's attacking the captain we have to destroy. You know, typical Worf. That is the warrior race, you see. You see, Star Trek Academy, whatever you're bloody called, that's the warrior race. Not wearing a fucking kilt.
Not firing in pronoun torpedoes.
So it's just like I actually started disliking the crew of the bridge, the bridge crew. Don't do that. I started batting for the other side almost. It's like, and that's what you get to love that life and those characters. You've been watching Star Trek: The Next Generation and getting to know these characters for 5 seasons. I think the Inner Light's 5th season, isn't it? 5 seasons. And then within minutes, you fall in love with these characters in this other life. And you don't want them to do anything to him to stop this message. That's how powerful this is for me. It's brilliant.
And you find that across some of the best Star Trek episodes. You really do. You know, going back to The Visitor, for example, you care about Melanie, not only because she's actually incredibly beautiful. She's also Andrew Robinson's daughter, so there's some Garrick in there somewhere you wouldn't want to mess. But yeah, she's incredibly beautiful. She's incredibly sweet, and the character is amazing. Tony Todd as old Jake Sisko, incredible. My thunderous applause. May you rest in peace. Bless him. But even Jake's wife, you care about her. You know, these are characters you've never met before, but you instantly care. And they're recognizable. You know, and a credit to all the guest stars and credit to the writers who write it, but to make us care about something other than the crew is amazing. Now Voyager tried that occasionally because it had a lot of different, you know, obviously no pre-established alien races in the Delta Quadrant aside from the Borg and, you know, a couple of others scattered around, but it tried it, but it didn't manage it the way the Next Generation managed it. The Next Generation, and I think Deep Space Nine to a large degree, they had that effect. They had that capability of drawing you into a completely alien and foreign world, and instantly making you feel about that civilization, either positively or negatively. You know, and you know, even there are aspects of the Dominion which you find understandable. You know, you can understand why the changelings are so suspicious of solids, simply because, and in some ways they're a victim of their own victimhood. But you can understand that's the beauty of Star Trek. It's always been the beauty of Star Trek. You can understand something from the other side without being made to feel guilty about your thoughts. Now you could say that there are bad guys in Star Trek, and I say that I think the greatest villain ever to be created in the whole of Star Trek is Gul Dukat, because Gul Dukat is a likable villain, and he's in some ways he's relatable, and he is a fascinating character study, because he's so sure that he's not that bad a guy. But even at his baseline, he's evil. But he's so sure he's not. And he can't understand why the Bajorans don't like him, because he wasn't as bad as he could have been. And I think that is a phenomenal character. And episodes like The Inner Light show us the beautiful side of Star Trek. Now, I love the darker side of Star Trek. I love Deep Space Nine, and I love the elements. It's not a case of people say, well, Deep Space Nine was Dark Trek, so why don't you like Discovery? Because it's Discovery to Dark. No. Star Trek Deep Space Nine gave us a dirtier, grittier edge of the civilization, grittier Star Trek.
Yeah.
But it still had an air of optimism about it.
Correct.
New Trek is nihilistic, depressing, and quite frankly, defeatist Trek.
Yes.
And you have an episode such as The Inner Light that tells a tragic, beautiful, painful story, because imagine this from Picard's perspective. Not only do you have an extra life worth of memories, you have 2 lives worth of memories. You have gone through a sense of loss and grief and mourning over your Starfleet life and the life of the explorer, the diplomat. And you have been thrust into this world with a bunch of strangers you don't know. And you have to get to know all over again. Then you live your life, you have children, you have grandchildren. They're yours, they're who you are. And then you're told, by the way, we all died 1,000 years ago. We are giving you the memory of this Cayman and the life that he'd led, in the hope that you will remember us and pass knowledge of us on to others. So to say, we were here, we existed. And just to break off, isn't that what human beings should be doing? Putting a form of black box out into space. Now, we've done it with Voyager to a limited degree, but no, I think we need to send regular bloody probes out with downloads and downloads of information about who we are, in case our sun dies, in case we get hit by an asteroid, we're wiped out.
Yeah.
Have a black box for humanity. That's a little sidestep, but then he ripped away from that life. His children he'll never see again. His grandchildren he'll never see again. He's lost his wife, and he has to remember he has to remember 50 years ago.
Unreal,
And
right?
from his perspective, and suddenly has to be a captain. Now, let's set a degree of reality in here. I think Starfleet would probably relieve him of duty for at least a month to say, right, we need to make sure you're Captain Picard again, and you remember all the protocols, and there would be a degree of reality, and maybe that happens in between
maybe
episodes.
That happens.
Yeah,
maybe.
And he wouldn't get over Wolf 359 that quickly either.
Oh, no
we know that. But the Inner Light.
But they did try and address that with family.
Family again.
Yeah.
Family. Fuck. Jesus.
Oh my God. Yeah.
The moment in the vineyard. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Again, so many impactful moments. We can spend so much talking about it, and I think the impact to that character portrayed beautifully. Patrick Stewart. I do my old man Picard impression, and I'm not ashamed of it. What Picard has become with New Trek is a joke.
Oh yeah.
The Next Generation Patrick Stewart performance of Picard, I will cherish until the day I pass this existence. He has given so much, and he gave a masterful performance in almost every single Next Generation episode.
Even the rubbish ones.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, no one can argue against that. I'm sorry, no one.
And in the Inner Light, when he picks,
know what acting is. Sorry.
No, they don't. And when he picks up that flute, Gooner, and holds it to his chest, the profound sense of loss that he must be feeling, and the profound sense of pressure, of this treasure that he's holding in his hand, and this physical object that he can.
That's all he's got left. That's the thing.
It's all that there is. That and memories.
I think this is where not the episode. Of course, the episode is for me is flawless. If there's a small criticism, and it's not the flute either, because we do get the lessons, the episode lessons. It's the flute is talked about with his girlfriend of that episode.
Yes.
And there's a couple of beautiful moments in the Jeffries tube, which I love that, because it's a throwback to the Inner Light, and again, another episode that actually gets me. A lot of people might never think about lessons, but I actually quite like that episode. I love the chemistry that he's building a relationship with this woman. Then he realizes that, God, I might have to once give the order to send her somewhere, she might die as a result, and he just can't handle that.
Yeah.
But what if there is one small criticism that I'd like to make following that episode, is that yes, the flute comes up again, but not his family, not his wife, not the kids, the grandkids, and I just wish there would be maybe one episode, maybe even in lessons, where they brought up, and that doesn't come up. And I'm not saying it's a major thing, but because it was such an impact on his life, I think it would have been nice to just see it maybe one time, maybe even in a passing comment, that is brought up. Again, we see the flute. I don't remember it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is brought up, but I can't recall.
Well, I don't. I think he may have brought it up briefly in lessons in terms of the family, but not by name. I would have thought it would have been interesting if it was incorporated in some other story, or perhaps an episode on its own, where it could even be subtle hints that he's been working on a holodeck program.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Funny.
Of everybody, of his family, of of that experience and that life. Not only he could have been asked to do it for the Starfleet archives.
Yes.
Show us what this world was like, so it can be remembered. And I always thought that would have been an interesting thing.
That's a great point. Yeah.
But no, they they didn't. It's such a fundamental part of Picard's evolution. It's a shame they didn't reference it a little bit more. And the flute did appear in other episodes as well.
Yes, it did. It did. Yeah.
I believe the one where he tells Worf to please go and have a holiday. He's trying to play his flute and everyone keeps interrupting him.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when they have. Is that not the Western one? Where he goes
Fistful of Datas.
Yes, is it that one? Was it that episode where they're on leave and Worf's trying to do everything he can to not have that leave because it means spending time.
That's
with
right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, because
no, surely there's something he could do, like he checked this weapon system or whatever. No, you're going to.
Please, Captain, give me work to do. I have to spend some quality time with my son.
and then Alexander just throws the hat on him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The title sequence starts. It's so funny. Worf was brilliant. Worf was. I'm completely digressing, but he made me chuckle sometimes. The episode you covered, which one with Q, where the Robin Hood episode, where he just gets, is it the mandolin that Jordan? He just smashes
against the wall, against the tree.
I don't want to be a merry man. That's the first thing that makes me laugh. And then he just grabs his man and he just smashes it on the tree.
And then he apologizes to Geordie and just goes, sorry. It's so fucking
and only Michael Dorn could pull that off. It's because you get to know the character and but oh god, where were we? Sorry, I've completely thrown the direction.
Digression. It should be called an evening in 10 forward digressing.
Yeah.
Or an evening digressing in 10 forward. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, it was. You were saying the appearance of the flute. That's it. And I think it was the Fistful of Datas. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but, it was. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Was it in the episode with Jason as well? I'm not. It's possible. But yeah, Picard. The thing is, if you, I can't imagine what it's like being in that situation, and that's again another beauty of Star Trek. You try to imagine yourself in that position. You walk away trying to imagine what it might be like to live an entire lifetime that was just memories. And in some ways, I mean, they cover it with the Trill. But Picard actively lived an entire lifetime, and that's the difference. Also with his Planet of PA and love interest, yeah, that was in the Jeffries tubes, Tetrarch. It's. I can't think of a single instance where I'm looking at a new Trek episode and thinking, what would I do in that situation? I just think I wouldn't be so fucking stupid to do it in the first place. I'm sorry. How would Pelia inspire me?
Come on, here we go. I asked for this. Go on, son.
Perhaps we can do some LSD.
It's ridiculous. I swear, I'm convinced you are the voice of Pelia. No one's going to change my mind. I don't think that's her voice. That's not the actress's voice. You are the voice of Pelia. Because it's ridiculous. I have not rewatched any of these episodes, but you do that voice, and it just takes back her in one of those episodes.
I'm traumatizing you every time I do it.
And in a weird way, I love it because it is so uncanny. It's her.
Yeah.
I think it's you. I think you're keeping a secret.
To be fair, if I wasn't going to get hit with a dozen copyright strikes, I would do a voiceover to an episode and change it. I absolutely would.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know it's a voiceover. It's that bloody good. Oh man!
There's a moment when I made Cell spit his tea out. When I did Mbenga saying I'm a doctor, and that's it. He about spat his drink out. Oh God!
Man.
So but no, I couldn't think for a second one scenario in New Trek that would make me think, make me think, what would I do in that situation? Because Discovery, it's what would I do in that situation? Probably cry, and or perhaps commit a mutiny. I might commit a mutiny. Yeah, let's get my captain killed, the actual decent captain character in the show. Let's get her killed, and let's have the Klingons brag about how they flayed her skin and ate her. And I just think, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but it's a revolting show.
It's the best way to describe it.
And the Next Generation did action, violence, and gore very well because it was subtle.
Yes,
it was subtle, and aside from Genesis, where it was actually the body horror was quite bad, quite what did I say?
The spider made me jump.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit! I never thought Star Trek would make me jump like that.
And there's Worf, this primeval Klingon that made you cack your pants. You think that's cool and scary at the same time.
That thing was something else.
You wouldn't be afraid of Worf after that, would you? You'd be like, you know what, Worf? I'm tired of your attitude. Maybe that's why Picard is able to be so harsh with him afterwards. Is like, I've seen you before your Snickers, mate. You know what I mean?
When he says it, doesn't he? In the First Contact, you're a coward.
Yeah.
I'll kill you or any other man. I'll kill you where you stand.
Yeah.
That bit?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done that if if he thinks of that monster, he would never have said that to him.
No.
That thing was pretty awesome. You're right. It was scary, but quite cool as well at the same time.
Oh, immensely so. Yeah. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, there's very few New Trek moments that will even hold a candle.
If any for me. Can you think of any? I'm not talking about Picard season 3 because that's different. But I'm just thinking about all the rest of it. I can't think of any. I just can't. I can't. There's nothing that's touched me to think that actually that wasn't bad.
Well, considering I'm having to work so hard to try and remember anything, tells me exactly the answer is no. There's no moment.
I said to you right now, pick 3 from DS9. You'd best do it like that. Pick 3 from Next Gen. You'd best do it like that. You'd do it without even.
I could even do it from Voyager and Enterprise.
Okay. Yes, there you go. But when I say Discovery, you're like Strange New Worlds. If I was to say any bright moment in any of New Trek, I've already said it. Lorca, Hemmer, and Shaw.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're my 3 bright moments in New Trek. And Prodigy, but that's a different show altogether. So
I'd say probably Saru. I'd add to your list by saying Saru.
They ruined him as well.
They destroyed Saru.
He become a snivelling, yes, space users, no space. Oh, you're the best space users. Why couldn't he stand up? There could have been some conflict between.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, first season, he's going, I do not trust you, Michael Burnham, because you frighten me with your unpredictability.
Yes.
You're a mutinous cow, basically, and you scare the shit out of me because you can't follow orders. And then he and then a few episodes later, he's all pretending to die and going, I love you so much, Michael. I'm dying, and they're both having a good cry, and the quarters are filling up with the tears, and she's going,
But didn't he have those things? Those
threat gang lie or whatever it is.
That's right. And even when she was making a decision, that would happen with him. So he was really kind of, this woman, what is she doing?
Yeah.
Right? And all of a sudden, no, that's all gone. Oh, yeah, we're best friends. You're
I love you. I love you so much, Michael Burnham.
They ruined him. He could have been great. And he's a good actor. It's, what's his name? Doug
Jones.
That's it, yeah.
Doug Jones. And I all respect to Doug Jones on this channel. All respect to Doug Jones. Because he did an extremely good job. He put so much effort into the character of Saru, and they absolutely destroyed him and wasted him.
Thank you.
100% wasted. You know, and he it's everything down to the movements with the hands like this as he's walking. You know, and he's
Oh yes.
and he's you know, the focus he put in on that character, and they turned him into a whimpering simp boy for Space Jesus.
Oh, don't, God.
With Lorca, they made him a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, they made him a naughty bad guy from the parallel universe.
Oh, yes.
Because I thought, you know, Lorca was pretty close to being a Jellicoe type captain.
Brilliant.
And I think again they knew that we'd like it, so that because they're narcissists, they can't give us what we like. Anytime we like a character, they go, killed it.
Stupid.
Oh, you like Hemmer? Oh, sorry, he's going to get AVP'd out of Strange New World.
For what? And I thought, okay, so can I be honest?
Yeah.
When that happened, that was at the end of the season, wasn't it? The first season? Yeah, because it was the fight with the Gorn, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was AVP.
Right. And I thought maybe, okay, I hated it because I really liked him. Really liked him. I'd actually probably say he is my favourite character of New Trek.
Yeah.
You know, probably, and Shaw and Lorca are there. I think if you asked me to do 1, 2, and 3 of them, it would be Hemmer, Shaw, and Lorca.
Yeah.
Right, in that order.
Agreed.
And then Saru, but they ruined Saru. So.
Yeah.
But then I thought, okay, I'm really upset that they've done this, but maybe because Scotty's coming in.
Yeah.
But no, who do we get? We get you doing the voiceover.
You get me.
Ridiculous character. I'm like, what the hell are you? And you're like you're talking about you're on LSD, and you're like, what are you? What is this character?
I like to collect the antique telephones.
Got rid of Hemmer for this? Are you absolutely out of your mind? Don't know what to say.
Well, look, Hemmer was a strong male role model.
Brilliant, he was.
And they can't have that because they have to have Pelia come on in and be the one to teach.
Farcical character.
Teach Scotty. Hey, Watch Nerd's back. Welcome back, Watch Nerd.
Hey, Watch Nerd.
Hammer for yeah. It's unreal treatment, and again, with creatives that stick to the Star Trek format, they do seem to lose their jobs, don't they? Yeah. You know, the guys who made Prodigy, ooh, they lost their jobs. Terry Metalis, ooh, he's not allowed in Star Trek no more. And you know, and anyone who goes, if you look at Brian Fuller, oh dear, no, we can't have that because it's not singing from the hymn sheet, but it's singing from the Star Trek hymn sheet. Now, Picard season 3 was a nice tribute to the fans. It was in some ways, it was two fingers stuck up to New Trek and what they did in the previous 2 seasons. There's one moment where, because I've done my rewatch, I've got the last 2 episodes to do. I'm nearly through my rewatch, and the bit that made me laugh, which I'd missed in the first first go round, was when Jack's talking to Riker. And there's some great dialogue in season 3 of Picard, and you know, he's Jean-Luc Picard. We're all human, and Jack goes, "I thought he was positronic," and he goes, "Yeah, but he's still Jean-Luc Picard," and it's great moments like that, you know. And the Shaw, when I first watched Shaw's admission to Picard, you know, in the holodeck where he's going, when he's basically telling everyone about Wolf 359.
Oh yes,
it is superbly acted, superbly directed, and superbly shot, and it's a great moment. But the first time I saw that, I was too resentful because of what they'd done before, and I thought, they've denigrated Picard. I don't really think they've denigrated Picard enough. And to
No.
me, the Shaw moment, the first time I saw it was like a bad copy of the moment Cisco did it in Emissary. The second time round, I'm thinking, well, actually, it's different. Yeah, I can see, Terry Matalas was paying a true homage to a lot of Star Trek, whereas New Trek just copies it and tries to and claims it's better. Yeah. But yeah, the Shaw moment with Picard, on second watch through, I think it's great. I think it's great. And do I think the story is strong? Absolutely not. No, it's an appalling story and a complete misrepresentation of what the Changelings were. The Changelings would never have played bitch to the Borg. No. I still believe there's nothing more terrifying than a fucking shapeshifter Borg. I'm sorry, but hello, T-1000, anybody? A shapeshifting Borg would be horrendous. And to be fair, that's a Borg that can look like anything. Anyone. That would have been a tremendous concept. But and yes, it was just, oh, for God's sake, it's the bloody Borg again. Will you stop with the what? New Trek has, pardon my turn of phrase here, I don't like to be crude, but New Trek has two giant hard-ons. One hard-on one, that is for the Borg. Hard-on two, that is for Khan.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they've gone, what is Star Trek? Well, the Borg and Khan, and they've just stuck to it. So even Strange New Worlds has on Union Singh, who is a descendant of Khan, and you're like, oh, you're a descendant of Khan. Do you not think Spock might have mentioned that in Space Seed if it was a thing? You're not very clever with your
no.
Oh, what do you call it? Retcons. You're not very clever with your retcons.
Something about the color red as well for some reason.
Red Door. Have you seen my Picard season 3 reviews?
I think I must have done. Surely I have. No, I haven't.
Because I don't know whether you have, because they were pre-10 forward, and I think you said you came in. Then. No. Yeah, watch them, mate, because the fucking Red Door, the Red Angel, the Red Orbs, the Red Signal. It's like, the bad robot is red as well. It's, the Red Signals. Oh, the Red Signals. I've reminded myself about the Red Signals, Gooner. We've received 7 red signals simultaneously across the galaxy at the same time.
Do me a favour.
It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen that way.
You can't get worse than a boy screaming and destroying every dilithium in the universe. What? That was the finale of the whole season.
Yeah. That was the explanation behind the bird.
Anyone with the right mind watch a whole season of a show to find out it's because a boy was upset and he screamed. What? If it's right, it's for real. Are they taking? Really? Come on. I'd be embarrassed as a writer to present this. This is the reason why all the dilithium has exploded. This is gone.
Yeah.
I would be embarrassed to put this in front of someone. I'd be like, if I had a boss, I'd be like, here's your P45, mate. You're rubbish. And that actually got through to become something where they spent millions on. Think about it. It's money. They spent money to bring this story to life. And the answer to the whole season, because he was upset. I'm sorry, I was so close to swearing there.
No, it's fine, mate. Swear away. It doesn't matter. it as long as we don't turn into Eric Cartman. But yeah, no, that is you're absolutely right. That's the reality of New Trek, right? So, have you ever seen pitch meetings? pitch meetings. YouTube, Ryan George on YouTube does pitch meetings. They're brilliant. So he films both sides of the conversation as himself as different characters. So it's all green screen. He's very clever. So he's having a conversation with himself, but it's a pitch meeting. So the guy's pitching a movie. Can you imagine the pitch meeting of so this, all the dilithium in the universe exploded. Oh, really? How did that happen? Someone had, someone had a bit of a hissy fit in a nebula, and it all blew up at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on a minute. So wouldn't that technically mean that the Romulans are pretty much poised to take over the galaxy? And what about the Borg?
Exactly.
The Borg would take over. The Romulans would take over.
Think about nothing.
Okay, so Firefly. I'm going to do a stream on Firefly.
I've got to watch that. One of my friends loves that show. It's only one season, wasn't it?
14 episodes of pure heaven, mate.
Okay, I think it's on one of the platforms I've got. I'm going to watch it.
Please do. So obviously I won't spoil anything, but Firefly posits none of it's set on Earth, by the way, so it's not a spoiler. Earth pretty much it had died, is dying, polluted, the usual sort of stuff.
Usual, yeah. The
two greatest superpowers in the world, China and the US, basically everyone in the Firefly universe pretty much speaks English and Chinese, and the language is blended together. So the two great superpowers are the ones that survived.
Okay.
I mean, that's just the most basic of breakdowns of one of the history of Firefly there. But now, if all the dilithium blew up at the same time, the Federation would be decimated. No one would be able to go to warp. Any surviving ships would be stranded. Federation colonies would starve. They'd have no supplies. Hostile, it would decimate the entire galaxy. But all of it.
Do you know what? I'm just thinking myself now, right? I'm the idiot. Because after seeing that, I still carried on watching the damn show. So who's the more fool? Who's that? What does he say? Ben Kenobi to Han Solo? Who's the more fool? The fool that follows?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm sitting here thinking that should have been the end for me. I mean, it should have been the end way before that. But I sat there and watched that. It's that stupid false hope I had, isn't it? That maybe, just maybe. And that's why I'm so...
There has to be a diamond in all of this excrement somewhere.
Yes, exactly. That false sense of hope. And this is why I'm thinking that I might just boycott this new show, because I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it. I really am.
I think it would be... it's my civic duty to inform you that you are not obligated to watch it in any way.
I'll wait for reviews.
Now... I'm approaching a bit of an impasse with what I'm going to be doing next year.
Okay.
Because obviously Academy will be coming out. It takes up a Thursday night every week that I'm not spending time with my family, which is fine. I've always dedicated time to make a video. But doing a live stream afterwards, if... I think I would lose my channel with anyone that I brought on after watching that show on 10 forward. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not even sure I could do a solo stream and talk about that effing show. But 10 forward will continue. We will cover.
A suggestion. I don't know if this sit right with you, but why do you have to do it per episode? Why don't you do a review after 3 or 4? Because it probably takes you 5 minutes anyway to talk about them. Do you have to do it every week? Do you have to do one
review wise, I've got no issue with doing it every week. It takes me maximum of 3.5 hours to watch the episode, film a review, and then put it on. Because pardon me for putting it this way, but the reviews are going to come out as raw as hell.
That's a good point.
Yeah. It's going to be my.
Forget what I said. I retract it.
No. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine.
No. It makes sense. You need to be more. You need to be more with your reviews of that. You'd need. Yeah.
So what I would say is that if I'm going to review Academy, I have to get it done as quickly as possible so I can wipe it from my memory and get on with the next day of my life. Here's the thing, and the reason why I brought up Gilmore Girls earlier, and I'll be honest with you, it is a good show because you start caring about the characters, not necessarily, the mum and the daughter is the main event, but it's the family, it's the people in the town, it's characters that you care about, and it's quite, at times it is an effeminate show. You sort of think, okay, yeah, can you, I want to focus mainly on this character story. But Academy is going to be the 90210 of the Star Trek universe. But it's not. I already know I don't give a flying crap. I'm not curious about any of these characters at all. Yeah, the Klingon in the trailer was robotic and cardboard cutout of whatever the hell passes for a Klingon in the 32nd century. Can you imagine General Martok looking at that and just thinking what he'd think? He'd be like, "Oh God, there'd be no honor in the universe anymore." It's kind of like when the military man, the stern military father, you're going to boarding school, that sort of character, and then the son goes, "But I want to be a dancer, Daddy." And I can imagine it would be that would be exactly the response. Yeah, 90210 actually drew and held an audience properly. This is going to piss off Star Trek fans, and this is not going to be good enough writing to be able to bring in young people. It's going to be hip, it's going to be rad. I'm sorry, but you've got a character in there that can't complete a handshake. She misses. She goes, oh, I'm so awkward, I can't find your hand.
I'm sorry, it's just so insulting. I can't. No, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. I'm just going to watch your reviews. I will watch your reviews, I promise you.
Yeah.
With all due respect, and I say this in the most endearing way, I want to have a laugh.
Yeah.
Because your review, I can guarantee, will make me laugh. So I know it's probably going to be kind of your expense because it's your time that you're giving up to watch the damn thing.
Yeah.
But it will do good for some of us. I promise you. It'll be therapy for some.
It's like a public service. It's certainly become a public service.
Yes, it will.
It was with Picard season 2 because that show was, pardon my French, fucking inexplicable.
What were the storylines in those first 2 seasons? I don't get it again.
The first season was Data's gay for Picard, and Picard's got Irumodic syndrome and eventually kills him. Jurati sees something and kills Bruce Maddox, and then the Romulan ninja nuns all see something so horrific they beat themselves over the head with a rock, and then you've got incestuous Romulan brother and sister.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And then you've got copy paste fleet. Then you've got Mass Effect ending. And then you've got synthetic Picard because Picard has died. Then you've got season 2. You've got the best opening episode of any New Trek series at all. A New Trek season. It's Picard season 2 episode 1 is an absolute banger of an episode. It's brilliant by New Trek standards. but that was the icing on the turd, unfortunately, because you bite into it, and the rest of the season was like some kind of battery acid trip, which became relevant later on in the season. You know, and you've got Picard gets a visit by Q, who then hits Picard because Picard is a frail old man but a synthetic, so he can take a good punch. And Q transports them to an alternate timeline where, I don't know, space Nazis stuff, and then they get out of there, but they have to go back in time to 2024 because of budgetary reasons, and it's easier to film in Los Angeles current day than it is to build expensive sets. And then I can't remember, something else happens. The Borg Queen from the alternate timeline merges with Jurati. She becomes new Borg Queen, and the Borg are lonely, and that's why they go around assimilating people, because they're lonely. And Guinan screams into a jar and summons a Q.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then we've got a missed opportunity with the temporal, whatever his name was, temporal agent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Guy who played in Relativity, I believe it was. And they just had him as some generic FBI character. They could have had him as a temporal agent. No, missed opportunity. And then with the Romulan lady, Laris's ancestor that wasn't Laris, and then the Borg fight in the vineyard where the Borg were shooting at Seven and Raffi, and they were running through the vineyard and didn't get hit once.
What you got? Look at memory, mate. Flipping hell.
This is trauma. It's burned, etched trauma.
Is it the one where Wesley Crusher makes?
Wesley Crusher comes in at the end. Yeah, that's right, and gets Soji, or dies in the first season. So this is Soji, the android twin.
Yeah.
And Rios, the really good, decent character. They decide to leave him in the past, even though they're adamant about not leaving butterfly effect. Anything that might exaggerate the butterfly effect.
Yeah, leave him there.
Just leave him there. They collect all the technology, but leave a human being. Holy shit! I forgot about all of this.
Oh, you've just summed up both seasons. You know, you've just done that in 5 minutes. Bloody hell, man.
Fucking hell! And the eating of the batteries as well. She ate the car batteries.
Oh my goodness!
And she randomly sang. She sang in front of a bunch of people randomly, because to I don't know, stave off the Borg Queen. Picard gets hit by a car. You know, the old classic. Oh, she too likes bonk, and it gets run over, and somehow not a bloody bump or scrape on him. And then he goes into a coma, and the
human, is he? That's why.
Yeah, the not Laris character, the not Romulan Laris character who is appearing human, has the earpiece, the Bluetooth earpiece that she uses to get into Picard's brain that is shaped like a Romulan ear. It's like, you think you're being clever? You think you're being intelligent right now, don't you? The list is endless with Picard season 2, and I am absolutely flabbergasted as to how it was ever a thing. Oh yeah, Q's dying, by the way. Of what? Don't know. Not a clue. Who gives a fuck? It's just, yeah, I'm dying. I'm dying. Well, okay, Q, what are you dying of? How? You know, is it a death wish kind of situation, or is it a plague? Did the Q have a plague? It's just dying. Just dying.
I have to applaud your memory. That's amazing. Well
done. All the reviews.
2 seasons you've just regurgitated there.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm re-traumatizing everybody in the chat. No singing, stop that.
Probably,
Yes, that's Monty Python, is it? Right, no, stop that. No singing, stop that right now.
That's it.
I just feel like singing. I've only watched season 2 of Picard, avoided it till now, because peeps were saying how terrible it was, and holy moly, it's genuinely terrible.
Genuinely terrible. Yeah.
So season 1 was awful, really dystopian shit. It was terrible, badly written. Season 2 was a battery acid trip, as I said. Season 3, I think, came from a place of love.
Yes.
And the story was quite poor, but the nostalgia was real, and you could tell it was made by a Star Trek fan.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an absolute disgrace that Terry Matalas got pushed out. Tetrarch off to work. God bless all and good night, Tetrarch. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming. Picard is so bad I stopped watching TNG. No, well I'd have to say hold off on that. Hold off. Picard should never taint TNG. They are very different shows. Different. So TNG was written by Star Trek writers. Picard season 1 and 2 was written by Patrick Stewart, who had no idea, really, did he? He basically said, "Oh, Jean-Luc Picard's life should be exactly like my life, and my life sucked, so that means Picard's life sucked." That's pretty much what it was.
What was the bit where he's running as a boy? It's the key to the downstairs.
Oh, the mum who offed herself in the chamber. The dad. I hate you. I resent you. You're a bastard, and I don't like you. And he goes, actually, your mother was quite mad, and I had to lock her up for her own safety, son. And he goes, perhaps I judged you too harshly.
I thought, do I need to take drugs to understand what the hell is going on? What's going on here? What is this? Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, but it was Patrick Stewart and his life events that he wrote into Picard's story, even though Picard's mother never offed herself or topped herself, and they retconned so much. And it's hard to believe that season 2 and season 3 were pretty much filmed back to back, because the quantitative difference in quality is staggering.
It was
absolutely staggering.
I don't think it didn't take a break.
It's why
they obviously rolled the trailers off quite quickly.
Yeah. Before we knew it, it was Picard season 3 was suddenly upon, and it's like, oh, we're getting all the next gen cast back, and I thought, Oh, Jesus, please don't. Please don't do what you're doing.
No, but I have to say, aside from those 2 seasons being just so bad and embarrassing, and it's almost as if you've disrespected what came before with Next Gen. Completely disrespected it. But I have to say, those, I think 3 or 4, it was 4 trailers in all, I think. I did like them, because it was the Next Gen again. For me, after so many, 30 years for all of us, when they stopped Next Gen in 94 was the last season. Yeah, 87 to 94, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Picard season 3 was 22 or 23? I can't remember now.
22.
Yeah. So almost 30 years, right, between the 2. And I saw the trailers and I thought, oh man, I do like the trailers. I did like them. I'll be honest. For me, because it was, if you are doing Picard, why haven't the Next Gen cast been in there from the start? And
because Patrick Stewart said, I don't want them in. He didn't. It was his thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
he said he wouldn't. He said he wouldn't even entertain coming back and playing Jean-Luc Picard again if the Next Generation cast were involved. He wanted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's very early interviews.
Right.
And it was, if I remember correctly, Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sturtis came in, but I think that was it. That's all he'd allow, because he wanted it to be a show about Picard, which doesn't work.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was him.
I'm fairly certain that was one of the stipulations that Patrick Stewart made for him to come back. That, and I think I did a voiceover joke about it because he was sitting there. I was like, I don't want anybody else to be there. Oh, this is a show about me, you see. And that was his that was the reason why. I was beginning to think Patrick Stewart had been replaced by a changeling. To be honest, shows you what a difference the showrunner can make on the quality of something. What did Terry Matalas say to him to change his mind? Well, Terry Matalas was given Star Trek Picard season 3 because, well, like so many other things, they didn't want to play with the toys anymore. They left Picard season. He was the showrunner for Picard season 3, and Picard and Patrick Stewart was contracted, I believe, for three seasons of Picard.
Yeah, that's right.
So he had to do it. And it's a case of, right, okay, well, you've done these first 2 seasons. They were a complete disaster. And they, like I say, they filmed season 3 back. Again, the quality of the acting, the writing, the direction between the 2 seasons were staggering. Absolutely staggering.
Oh,
so Terry Matalas fired a lot of the Picard cast. So obviously you got no Rios anyway because he's been left in the past. He's been left in the past. You've got no Elnor. You've got no Girardi. You've got no. Oh, I hated Elnor. I hated Girardi. Girardi was just this horrible character.
Hated her. Oh my.
She's absolute wank. She was.
No, I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, but he had to keep. I think her name's Michelle Hurd. Had to keep Hurd, but got rid of Soji. Thank God.
Right. Thank God. Yeah, I didn't like her either.
They, I think they had to keep 7 of 9. But yeah, most of the Picard season 1 cast and season 2 cast gone because they just didn't work. Now, what they did with Raffi in Picard season 3, I think, was interesting. I still didn't like her as a character, but there were some redeeming elements of that, and putting her, I think, with Worf was a great idea.
I think she was the best of the lot out of the Bad Bunch. I think.
Yes.
Out of all the ones you just said,
mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe not Rios. Rios was actually no, I did. Like
Rios was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Apart from him, I think out of the remaining, she was probably the best of that bunch. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and to be fair, mate, I know I'm going on a bit, but Raffi was insufferable because all she did was berate Picard. I mean, you remember in the first season when she goes, are we going to go rescue the Romulans? What did they say? And and he goes, oh, they didn't listen to me, and I offered I basically said if they wouldn't help us, I'd resign. And she goes, oh, of course you did. Well, come on. We don't need Starfleet. Screw Starfleet. Let's go rescue the Romulans. We'll get a ship. We'll get a fleet together. You and I have got influence. We can do this, JL. We can do this. You and me. Let's go rescue those Romulans. And then she goes, oh, great. I've been fired. Thanks a lot, JL. I'm out of here. And walks off. Yeah. And I was thinking... what just happened? And then it just becomes, it's all your fault. Everything that's gone wrong in my life, the fact that I'm on drugs and all that, it's all your fault, J.O. And it's like... Yeah.
I get it. I remember. 1 second, sorry.
No, of course. And guys out there, season 1 was just it was just a joke. It was a nihilistic joke. Season 2 was an acid trip, and season 3... was very loving, but I think unnecessary.
Agreed.
Picard season 3 could not exist. It could be taken away, and I don't think I'd miss it because we already had the engine of Next Generation. We already had all good things.
Yeah.
Like I say, I think it's a nostalgia bomb, and Terry Matalas was incredibly intelligent the way he released that. He used every trick in the book. No,
I agree. No. I'm sorry I'm gonna have to
mate, to be fair, I'm gonna end the stream because we've gone 15 minutes over. And you said you wouldn't be able to do 3 hours. We've gone 15 minutes over.
The weird thing is, the first time I was like, it went, and I looked at the time. I thought we'd done a bit more. And this not saying this is not a criticism. This was, and it was still half. I think it was 9:30. I thought, wow, it's only an hour, but I was enjoying it. The next 2 hours, where did it go?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I looked at the time. And I'm like, what? It's 11:20. I thought, hey, what?
This is where doing 10 forward. Yeah, you get into a conversation. I mean, we've spoken for nearly 3 hours over the last course of the last 2 days. That's incredible, you know. But guys, I wish. I'm sorry I couldn't put out the I'm calling last orders. I'm gonna have to end the stream and without warning. I'm sorry guys, we got carried away. But thank you so much for joining me, Gooner. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much.
Gooner is a true gent.
Oh, likewise. You have made me feel incredibly welcome.
And you are
incredibly welcome. And that it means the world, and it goes a long way. And the fact that it's been extended even to when I do my little streams, some of you guys come on. It's tremendous.
Speaking of, please visit Gooner's channel. Link is in the description. Go over there, support Gooner. Hit the like button on this stream. Hit the like button on his channel. Subscribe. Gooner is awesome. There you go. Gooner is phenomenal. We all love Gooner. It's been a pleasure having you on an evening 10 forward, and it's definitely gonna happen again. 110%.
And can I say a personal thanks to everyone in the chat as well? You know, I mean, I haven't really been, because I've been so engrossed in listening to you and the conversation. I normally would look at the chat and make some comments, but thanks for everyone in the chat as well. And it's been an honor. I mean, I was watching you, watching Denzel, and commenting for all these months, and now I'm here, and it's like this feels a bit surreal. And watching Denzel responding in the other way around, I'm like, what's going on here?
It's a Twilight Zone.
Have I gone into the parallel universe? Am I about to see Spock with a goatee in a second?
Yeah, well, funny enough, I'm the parallel universe version of myself.
No, you'll actually be Pellier.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I have to end the stream now.
So yeah.
But thank you.
Goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much, Gooner. Thank you to the chat. Thank you, Tetrock. Thank you, Snorter Poopers. How are you? Thank you to Stephen Bromby. Thank you to Alia. Thank you to everybody who's come and joined. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for being a fantastic audience. That's it from us on this Friday night. You look after yourselves, and we'll see you again next time. Take it easy. Peace out.